You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
Take a look at the University of North Florida. That's where we were yesterday. The women's basketball team will play again tomorrow. The men's basketball team, well, they played last night, and they got another win, 90-66. Maybe we'll show you some of those highlights a little bit later on in the show. Busy night on Thursday here in Jacksonville with high school football happening, and then the basketball game, and, well, a lot happening around this football team in Jacksonville as well, especially around the quarterback position. Brent Martineau along with Austen Lane, Jason Hamby on a Friday. Austin just sitting down here in a moment. We're live at Best Bet Jacksonville. We always go to St. Augustine. We sometimes come up to Best Bet Jacksonville, and we're off Monument Road. And by the way, I just got word. I was like, why is everybody here so early? Usually there's like a line outside or people waiting to get in. It opens at like 10 o'clock right when our show starts. Well, open 24 hours through the weekend. That's how big things are right now here at Best Bet Jacksonville because the World Poker Tour has arrived. So WPT is happening, and we are in the middle of it right now. As here on November 8th, I got my whole sheet right here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening. But on November 8th, we actually begin tonight satellite play into the WPT championship next week. So you can play these satellite games for $580. And I know that sounds like a bunch, but you get into $1 million guaranteed tournament. And if you wait until next week to get in, it's $5,000 to get in. So you can get these satellites in at $580. So we'll tell you a little bit more about it. Maybe visit with Jesse along the way a little bit later on because there's a lot happening here and down at Best Bet St. Augustine in Orange Park as well. So always love being here and hanging out. And stop on by if you're in the area. I know St. Augustine for some of you a little bit further away. Well, stop on by, say hello. Good food, good place to play, and, well, say hi to us. What the hell?
Come say what's up, man.
Austin.
Little pro tip. If you do come say hi to us, don't bring a backpack that's seems to be filled with a lot of things because people might look at you a little funny like, hey, this guy's bringing a lot of money to Best Bet.
Is that what you just did?
Yeah, for sure.
What's in your back? Can you show us the backpack?
No, it's just my gym clothes and stuff. Gym clothes, my smoothie.
Yeah, I have no idea why that was questioned coming in.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to raise some concerns, right? Like, this dude's real high stakes today on a Friday.
I don't want to say anything I shouldn't say.
Go ahead, say it, man.
You bring like a duffel bag into a
no, it's not room. Like. No, I mean,
Ocean's 11.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thought was there's a lot of money in there, hopefully, and nothing else. That's awesome. But it's just gym clothes and smoothie stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, everybody. And I don't know if it's happy around here or not.
Not really.
Goodness.
White helmets, though, so I'm excited about that.
Helmets. Mm-hmm. Hey, I was really excited that we had Evan Ingram on the show last night in Jaguars All Access. We had a heck of a crowd last night at String Sports Brewery in Springfield. It was almost unexpected because a lot of times our crowds go win, loss. And what it showed me is everybody was excited to see
of course,
to see Evan.
It's that Evan bump right there.
Yeah, it was an Evan bump. And I like it. I'm cool. I love having that place filled up, and it was great to see everybody last night. Evan was great. He's one of my favorite guys on this football team, really, last few years. Everything he represents, everything, how he plays, and they're going to need him to come up big. All right, so the story continues to be Trevor Lawrence, right? Mm-hmm. And freaking Hamby, waking me up at like 6 o'clock this morning because he was getting woken up at like 5:30, 5:45 before he came in to do his news shift in the morning. And he's like, hey, NFL.com's reporting that he's officially out. And, I mean, I'm like half asleep, right?
Yeah.
And so...
Somebody probably could have waited till like 7, huh?
Well, we're a news organization, man. We don't wait. We got to go with stuff. Well, we should wait. I had to tell them to wait a little bit because it's like NFL.com's the one reporting it, and they're the only ones. So I started looking around. They're the only ones reporting it.
Who was the reporter? So you can give him credit, bro.
Who was the guy? It was Shook. His last name Shook?
Jay Gruden. Oh.
That was good.
I got you, man.
That was pretty good.
You, man.
That made me laugh.
I got you, man.
But there's some guy, Shook is his last name.
Just trying to make a name for himself.
Now, I don't go to NFL.com a lot, so he might be a common writer on
I've never heard of
NFL.com.
Yeah.
But obviously the latest stuff here is really for me and Rappaport. The only report that has come out on Trevor Lawrence is from Ian Rappaport. Like, I've not seen Schefter or other people do it, right?
Yeah.
But it's unlikely to play.
Yeah.
And listen, I tweeted today just out of kind of fun, but I do kind of have respect for these guys. They have to say something often, right? Because they're insiders and they're on TV so much.
Yeah, so you have to try to keep your job. I get that.
They are the best hedgers of all time, man. Like when it comes to, he might not play, but it might this, his day to day, it might be this, might have surgery. He might have surgery like in the next 5 years, basically.
I hope Trevor plays.
Me too. I'm hoping Trevor plays.
Yeah,
but
I can see this guy squirm a little bit.
Well, Nick shook. But anyway, the only guy that was reporting anything was Rappaport. He said unlikely. Okay, that's fair enough. And I think he did that because Gruden's the one that started this whole thing with the surgery stuff. So he had to report something. So I'm in the weeds in the business side of our business. And I kind of see what's going on. Yeah. And then the other side of it for me, guys, is it's taken us 700 days to find out who the play caller is from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. You really think they're going to tell us 3 days before the Jags are playing the Vikings if the quarterback's out? And this thing said official. I'm like, There's only one thing that makes it official. Doug Peterson says it. Yeah. The Jags send me a text. The email comes out. That's what makes it official. And guess what? I didn't have any of those things. Yeah. So we got one report. Now, this looked like an overzealous overnight crew. Much like maybe ours was.
Come on.
Getting at 6 a.m.
Come on.
And they probably just misinterpreted the Ian Rappaport report and were doing something overnight and updating it. And
yeah.
But as Hamby knows, and Hamby did a good job with this, I was like, listen, man, you can say that they reported it, but it's one outlet reporting it.
To be fair, though, it's a big outlet.
It's a big outlet reporting it.
NFL.com is reporting
fair enough, and we do that now, big, right? We can do that in our world now. But I would say the Jags have not said it's official. I would rebuke the fact that they're saying it's official by saying the Jags are not saying, they have not said that. Mm-hmm. There's only one person, one outlet that can make it official, and that's one entity, if you will. That's the Jaguars. Mm-hmm. And so it was erroneous from the start. Now, another outlet in town ran with it, and, and that's what happens in our business. So anyway. Guess what? They took it down an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Nick Shook, NFL.com writer who occasionally appears on your TV. Just a kid from Akron.
Yeah, he's probably
Kent
fine.
State alumnus, high motor, gym rat. All right.
Yeah, he's got a high motor.
High motor, gym rat.
It might be too high of a motor last night.
He's not verified, though. And with decisions like that, we can see why.
Yeah. So anyway, listen, I'm not trying to get on my high horse here. I think we got to be reminded sometimes.
We've seen that from the rock, paper, scissors comments.
I just think that
there's only so many horses to go around here, Brent.
I think you got to be careful with this stuff. We have no idea yet if Trevor Lawrence is playing or not. I get it. There's a lean. Why is there a heavy lean that he's not playing? Well, one, because they bring in C.J. Beathard.
Correct.
That was the tell. We said that right away on Wednesday morning. It's 15 minutes before our show started. Mm-hmm. Then the fact that obviously Rappaport's a respectable guy in the business that usually has good information. So if he says unlikely, well, you probably lean that way. But the bottom line is what I say is, Austin, if they knew he was already out, why the hell's he even on the practice field? Why is he even in uniform?
True.
What are they doing? He's limited. Okay, he's very limited. He's probably not doing much outside of what we see him do. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line, why does he even need to be there? If you know he's not playing on Sunday.
Why is he in pads?
Why is he in pads? Yeah. Why is he dressed? Why is any of that? So I would even criticize the Jags a little bit for if the shoulder is potentially hurt to that degree that you're not going to be able to play, why are you even out on the field?
Yeah.
I know I'm out on the field maybe, but why do you have to be in a red jersey? Why do you have to be in a helmet?
Yeah.
So I'm going to just take it for what it is and say, this is a guy that battled through a bunch of stuff last year. I think he's going to try to get ready to go on Sunday. And I think there's certainly some obvious gray area whether he's going to be able to play in this game, or they wouldn't have signed C.J. Beathard, and you wouldn't get these kind of reports. Mm-hmm. But Doug talks in a little bit. I don't expect Doug to tell us if he's playing or not. Now, Doug probably have to answer the question about surgery because of Jay Gruden and other things, and maybe he shed some light. But I'll tell you what, if Doug Peterson sheds some light at this news conference on Trevor Lawrence's situation, it'll be the first time he's done something like that this year.
No, without a doubt. It's really the first time I'm wanting him to not really shed the light. Because,
it's right.
We talk about this the entire year, keeping things under wraps a little bit, who's calling the plays, injuries, things like that. Okay, it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to your starting quarterback, if he's going to be playing or not, well, then, that can be a little gamesmanship, right? Because Obviously, I think Trevor Lawrence gives you the best chance to win, and I don't think, like, if they bring in Mac Jones, like, you have to get ready for a dual threat type of quarterback or anything, but it's still a different look. It's still a different quarterback. So I think there is a little gamesmanship there, and to echo your point, I don't see the Jaguars coming out and saying, yeah, Trevor's going to be out yet or he's not going to be playing. I think they're going to wait till the last minute to decide that.
Yeah, and we'll, again, Doug talks in a little bit. We'll see what he says about it. And listen, at the end of the day, you can maybe come back to this moment or this morning and yesterday and be like, yeah, see, they were all right. He doesn't play. Absolutely. I mean, listen, it's one of two things. He's going to play or he's not.
I mean, I think it's more likely that he's probably not going to play than he is going to play.
Would say so. Yeah, I would bet that.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be my wager at the moment. But again, Austin, hasn't changed for me on this whole thing, and we're probably getting into semantics here, but the thing that hasn't changed is, if you thought he had a good chance of playing on Sunday, why bring C.J. Beathard in? Like, that's the move to me that actually triggered this more than anything else. Like, why bring – because you got to keep him on the roster for 3 weeks now. So why have 3 quarterbacks on your active 53-man roster if you – because, like, GMs don't like to use 3 quarterbacks with that roster.
Without a doubt. But, like, Dallas is in need of a quarterback right now. Maybe there's some other teams. Maybe they're afraid that – they're going to miss out on C.J. Beathard. He's going to go someplace else. If that's the case, then it's like, okay, well, we have Trevor who's not 100%, and you have Mac Jones. If Trevor can't go in the next couple of weeks, then what's the plan going to be? Who are you going to bring in to back up Mac Jones? And
that's fair.
All of a sudden, C.J. Beathard's off the table. So...
Yeah, in that instance, it's no different than like jumping for a linebacker late in the 3rd round because you don't think there's going to be one in the 4th round, right?
Williams, like,
very good.
Yep.
Which was a good jump.
Yeah,
and then not
while we had him
deposit.
Correct. Yes. Yep.
So anyway, Jags Forever says, question: if he was well enough to come out in the second half last week and play well, then how is he not able to play this week after some rest? It's a good question. Now, what and just to go back here, if you're just jumping in on the Trevor stuff for us, I've been telling you this all week. We almost reported, like, I had a tweet ready to go before that second half, like, Trevor's not playing in the second half, or Mac Jones is going to come out and start the second half, because Stuart Weber was down there and he was just doing some work and he saw Trevor without a jersey on with team docs. Well, then he's the last one out of the locker room. So what I don't know, and I don't even want to speculate, but I don't know what happens in that situation. Do you get is there potentially a shot that gets? I mean, what is that? I don't even know what they do now.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I mean, back when I played, it could have been a Toradol shot. I don't think Toradol is really a thing anymore, but it might be. I'm not going to make any speculations. I have no idea.
So, or they just checked out and he toughed it out. Like, I don't know. Like, so I guess we don't know because, well, they really don't tell you a lot about injuries, let's be honest. They're not shedding a lot of light. I mean, even Doug the other day said upper body. He's like, when asked about left shoulder, he's like, upper body, yes.
You don't know.
What is that? Yeah. Like, and so again, we don't know. It's a fair question, Jax Forever. I don't know that part. And there's a couple of things. We wondered on Wednesday, said, hey, maybe you tough it out. There's adrenaline going on. You want to play. You get through all that, fine. And then you still wake up Monday and Tuesday and it's like, oof, this thing's killing me. Sure. I mean, everybody's done that before, right? Where you do any kind of injury and you're like, 24 hours later, it hurts maybe even more than it did initially.
Of course.
So there's a lot of different scenarios for that. I just don't know how, to your point, Jags Forever, I don't know how we got from this guy coming out and playing in the second half to Thursday potential surgery.
I know.
Once again, that's a quick
supposedly
jump.
From one person. I mean,
yeah. Now, listen, I would say this. Even Rappaport in his reporting is not debunking the whole surgery idea.
Sure.
But he's hedging like, well, does that mean he could have surgery at some point? Who knows? To me, that says, now again, don't know. This has like labrum written all over it.
Well, that's the thing. If this is a shoulder, I mean, we'll talk about hedging your bets. If it's a shoulder injury, like, how many shoulder injuries do you have that are to keep you out of the, maybe a game or a couple games where they probably don't require surgery? Because, like, what? It's a bruise?
Well, the AC joint more bruise worthy? Is that more of a bruise?
I don't know. I mean,
I thought, possibly. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to check on those. And again, why we're just speculating because we have no idea. But how many injuries can you play through as a shoulder? I mean, I guess there could be a dislocation that popped back in.
You have a dislocation. There's a labrum. There's the AC. I mean, we're not getting. I don't. Yeah. We'll wait and see. Like, I'm not going to speculate. I have no idea.
Yeah. So anyway, the bottom line is we still don't know. Maybe we get a little bit more from Doug. I doubt it.
Can we get Jay Gruden on the show? Dude, you have his number, right?
I probably could get Jay
Well, let's
Gruden.
go then. What are we doing? This dude's got his finger on the pulse of what's happening in Jacksonville right now, apparently. Hey, what do you mean, no, he doesn't? He's supposed to report it.
Well, he reported surgery.
Oh, well, he reported he was hurt, though. We figured Trevor was hurt, but, like, Jay's been on it, man.
Yeah. Jay's sounds like out of the blue.
Jay's going for the NFL Network. That's what he's doing. I respect that.
I like Jay Gruden.
I've never met him. Yeah, he's
he's
cool.
fun. He would actually be fun to have on the show a lot.
Well, I mean,
especially if you're just going to say stuff like this.
Well, that's the thing, bro. Like, you have his brother like doing everything on YouTube now. Like the coach is breaking it down and everything. Like Jay needs some shine too, man. Jay's doing this.
Listen, we got Malarkey on. In fact, I got to go back and get Malarkey on. I don't know if he's a little hesitant to come on now. They're so bad.
But also we can interview in person, or what's the plan there? Are we can actually be like an interview on the internet? In our stream, because that hasn't been going well either. So unless you want to,
last time we had him on,
are we going to go to him, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But
cool.
But Malarkey and Jay Gruden getting them on wouldn't be bad.
That'd be cool.
Be
That'd
kind
be
of fun
show. A little round table.
I don't feel like they're from the same tree.
Nah. Nah.
Hey, what about that football game last night? I mean.
Yeah.
This is the crazy part about this world is that we look at that game and we come out and we're like, wow, like it's awesome, right? Because there are yards everywhere and touchdowns everywhere and points everywhere.
That's what the NFL wants.
And what we want.
Yeah.
Right. And we want to be like, hey, look at the quarterback play, look at this play, look at that play. And it's like, oof, nobody going to talk about those defenses, eh?
No, man. No one cares about that. Come on now, Brent.
I think I just saw that scoring 35 plus points, 35 or more points in a game. Or no, maybe 34 because they scored 34. So, I don't know, 30-something points plus.
Okay.
The Bengals are now 2-3 on the season.
Man.
The rest of the league is 38-1. That's when you know. Like, I was thinking of this.
That's an anomaly.
Who had the more anomaly of a season? Mm-hmm. The Jags, the Bengals, the Jets. Because they've all had disappointing and bad seasons to this point.
I mean, see, like, I think if you watch the Bengals play, like, they've shown bright spots, but the record's obviously disappointing. And I mean, I know you like the Jets. I like the Bengals better to go to a Super Bowl than the Jets. And,
yeah, you did, right?
The Jaguars just kind of, So I would probably say the biggest disappointment is the Bengals.
Okay, but that's disappointment-wise. But what about just like an anomaly of a season? We've seen the Jags lose 4 times in the final minute, basically, right? We've seen all these good things and metrics and some things, but then they don't come on the right side. The Jets, I don't know their inner workings as well, but I know the Bengals they scoring all these points. Like, look at that stat I just gave you. Mm-hmm. And so, like who shouldn't be 4-6 or 2-7
again,
or 3-6?
I think if you have a top 5 quarterback like Joe Burrow, I think if you have one of the best wide receivers in the game with Jamar Chase, I think if you have arguably the defensive player of the year in Trey Hendrickson, you should be competing to go to the playoffs. So I still think the Bengals are the anomaly here, even more than the Jaguars.
That is unbelievable as you say that out loud.
Yeah.
Because we landed on Hendrickson yesterday, right?
Correct.
Like,
I had no idea.
And again, their defense hasn't been good overall, but he's been really good,
obviously.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And Burrow, they're not winning football games, which is a quarterback stat. Mm-hmm. But how many touchdowns that dude have now? I mean, it feels like a ton in the last 3 weeks.
Pretty good.
And then Jamar Chase's night.
Yeah.
How do they not go to Jamar Chase on the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, I know.
They had the setup, it looked like, in the first one, then they called timeout.
I know.
And do you like the 2-point?
Do I like them going for 2 points?
Yeah.
Yes, especially on the. I mean, like I get it, right? Especially on the road. Baltimore had some momentum. Yeah, I don't mind it. Risking it for the biscuit. Obviously, it didn't work out well. If they would have won, they would be like, "Oh, what a genius play call." So I get it. Didn't work out. Was it the best play call? Probably not. Could have did something better. But once again, hindsight's 20/20, and I get what Zach Taylor was trying to do there.
Hey, Hamby, what do you think? 2-point conversion there to win it. Did you like it? Now, the thing, I honestly wasn't watching front to back the game. I watched some of it in the early going and then caught back up later on. But apparently, the Ravens had scored 4 consecutive possessions. So you kind of understand where Zach Taylor's coming from. Right. Hamby, do you like the 2-pointer there or what?
Yeah, I think it's an auto, honestly. If my defense isn't playing well, I'm on the road. I'm going for it every time. I'm not sticking my defense back up there. And if I've watched what Burrow and Chase have been able to do all game long, I got to ride with my guys and put them in another situation, I would think, to go and do the same thing. By the way, Burrow, 24 touchdowns on the season just for comparison for everybody, the easiest one, obviously, Trevor he has 11. So.
Yeah, and how many picks for Burrow? Do you know?
4.
That's it. 24.
Not even sniffing the MVP conversation.
So I was going to say, so
not
Joe Burrow
is sniffing it.
So Joe Burrow's putting up MVP number. Give it, hey, just for out of curiosity, what's like Lamar's numbers? Because he's like a favorite, right, at the MVP.
Well, he has more passing touchdowns now than he did last year total.
What?
I believe, yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson has 24 touchdowns and 2 picks. Goodness.
Wow. But so isn't that crazy, right? So Lamar Jackson has 24 and 2. Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson last year, his MVP year, had 24 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
So he's got the equal amount
right now.
Mm-hmm. Halfway through the year.
Right now.
And they're 10 weeks in, I guess. They could be at 10 games, right? Yeah. There's a lot of football still to be played.
This is correct.
So 24 and 2. He's the favorite right now to win the MVP, I believe.
Correct.
If we did that right yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. According to Bill Barnwell.
Oh, okay, that was Barnwell.
That was Barnwell.
He might not be the odds-on favorite, but he's up there in the top 2. I think. Josh Allen might be there, whatever else.
Josh is 17 and 2.
17-2, okay. Man. And then you got Burrow, who is
24
and 4. And he's not even he's probably 15th in the voting.
No one's even talking about him.
That's crazy.
Dude's an afterthought.
And you got people can say this all the time, right? But you look at I really think what Josh Allen's doing is what the Jags wanted out of Trevor this year. 17 and 2. Hey, Josh Allen's numbers rushing touchdown wise,
3.
Let us know. And then because even he's got 3, and so does Trevor. I think when you get a chance to look that up, I think Trevor's got 3 rushing.
Okay.
Last year, Josh Allen
which
had
means
15.
okay. Yeah, I know a lot more, but they're not doing that.
They don't need to do that. Yeah,
and so that's a little bit my point, but I think that's who they wanted this year. If it had gone correct, that's what Trevor would have been. What's Trevor got pick wise? 4 or 5 now? I think he might have 5.
Trevor
after
has
the interception in the end zone.
6.
Oh, he threw 2 less. Oh, he's 6.
Yep.
So he's 11 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Of course, he hit one off ETN's hands. That's right. Mm-hmm. And then that's right. Game. So he's 11 and 6. He that. They would. He should be with 3 rushing touchdowns if he was 14 or 15 and 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, it's not that far, but it's far enough. That's wins and losses. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, let's take into account the EPA here, Hamby. Where's Trevor Lawrence on the EPA? Maybe he's a little more comparable to Lamar Jackson.
I don't think I'm going to have that. I don't think I'm going to be able to have a serious conversation today with this guy here.
No.
From Best Bet.
Come on, man. What? It's we got quarterbacks thrown for 24 touchdowns, and it's just
Yeah, but I don't think they need that out of Trevor as much.
No,
right? I mean, that's not. We're not asking Trevor to be 24 and 4, 24 and 2.
Not when you have Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I think they were asking him to be 17 and 4 or 16 and 3 or 6.
Yeah.
But and he was actually off to that start. I think at one time he was 11 passing touchdowns and 3 picks. He might have thrown 3 picks and no touchdown passes in his last.
Yeah.
Now that wouldn't make sense because the Packers game was the final touchdown, so maybe he was 10 and 3 or something. But they're starting to pile up a little bit on the interceptions. Plus, he had the one bad fumble. He's only had one fumble, I think, lost.
Yeah.
But it was the one bad one. So now you've got 14 touchdowns by rushing and by passing, and now you've got 7. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Not terrible. But when you throw one's back in your own end to give up a touchdown and the other one's to lose the game against Philly for a touchdown, those are huge. Those are 2 football games.
No, for sure.
That's 2 football games. That's the Jags are 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Right?
No, without a doubt. It is amazing with Lamar Jackson, and I don't know what his rushing numbers are, but it's amazing that you bring in Derrick Henry. And I mean, and he's having a good season as well. But at least I thought, okay, you have Derrick Henry, you're probably not gonna be passing as much. It's gonna be kind of the Derrick Henry show, and Lamar Jackson's gonna further eclipse his past numbers from last year by probably a landslide. The way that he's going right now, it's crazy just how this offense is clicking.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But once again, their defense not really playing good complementary football, and it begs the question, okay, it looks good right now in the regular season, but once you get to the playoffs, playing quality teams, is that style of play going to be conducive to going on a Super Bowl run?
It is really weird to watch the Ravens play such poor defense.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's strange. It's just not used to it.
No.
At the rate they're playing. They're really playing bad defense. It's been
they're good for a lot of points.
a lot of points.
Yeah.
And hey, one other thing about that.
And Kyle Hamilton now too.
And
might
now
be
he's out. Yeah, might be out. He's a terrific player too. Loved him coming out of the draft. He's one of those like you're like, oh, that guy's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I do want to take him that high as a safety, but it's like, okay, I see why he went that high.
Yeah, me too. And he's been every bit as good as anticipated. One last thing. Well, I thought that throw from Burrow was terrific to Chase. I mean, what a good throw. And listen, that's the thing. Like, that's the one thing I do like about Trevor, where you can get competitive. You can compare that stuff. Trevor can make some really good throws.
He can make some good ones.
Brilliant throws. And he did it the other day, like on the touchdown drive, the one to Brian Thomas Jr., the one down the middle to Ingram. But it's just got to be more. It's got to be more. It's not enough. It's not enough. And Jackson, when you look at that game, you're like, there's something in there that's similar to those guys, but there's not enough. Yeah. It's just like, and how much is that on Doug and Press? At the end of the day, are you not getting enough out of it? Is that on Doug and Press? Or is that on the quarterback? And I do think it's a players' league, but I think the way this season is going, the way some of this stuff is unraveled, the way we've watched up close some of these late-game situations like last week, I don't know how you can't fault Doug and Press for not enough development at this point 3 years in. This just not look like an offense and a quarterback and everything else that's been in the system for 3 years.
No, and it is sad too, because and we'll see with Brian Thomas Jr. as he keeps getting better as well, and I think we're all excited for the years to come. But it's like, in your mind, watching Joe Burrow last night do his thing with Jamar Chase, it's like, can you have it in your mind that Trevor can throw for 4 touchdowns and throw to a receiver for over 200, almost 300 yards receiving on prime time against an AFC contender? Like, that's not even in like my ballpark right now, unfortunately. And it's sad that I'm thinking that, because like, once again, we have seen Trevor make some damn good throws. We have seen Trevor, make some game-changing drives that when the team needed it the most. So we know that he's capable of doing it. It's just we haven't seen it at the full clip like we have with Joe Burrow. I mean, this is kind of like Joe Burrow's thing, right?
Yeah, that's it. They are, like you talk about identity, they are him, right? They are him and Jamar Chase. I mean, they two people almost beat that team yesterday, is what it feels like.
I mean,
I get it, but
gritty.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. Like, and here's what I go to when you started to say that, I was like, yeah, but we saw like that second half against the Chargers, man. We thought that was it. Like, you could be that, you could do that, but then we're also seeing Look, we're seeing Burrow do that, but that's not a winning formula. We're seeing Justin Herbert reeled back in. They're winning football games. We're seeing Josh Allen reeled back in, winning football games. So it's okay. Like, I don't think you have to be the best fantasy football player to be the best quarterback in the league or to do what we need you to do in Jacksonville.
Sure.
I don't think it's that far off from what we're looking for in Jacksonville. Like I just said, 11-6 could easily be 14 touchdown passes and 3 or 4 picks, and then it's right where you need it to be with 2 more wins or 3 more wins, and you're in the mix. But I do feel like in these fourth quarters, these comebacks after these super slow starts, like, putting it on his shoulders is not a problem. Like, I'm okay with him having the football in his hands.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel bad when the football's in Trevor's hand.
No, but see, my issue is the fact that Trevor has to be Joe Burrow right now with how this team is constructed, with how this team's built, and with no complimentary help really from your defense. Like, listen, when the Jaguars were at one of their best teams, 2017, it wasn't like Blake Bortles was playing at a Joe Burrow level, but he had a defense and a running game that had his back. And Trevor, for the running game, yes, sometimes it's there or not, but the defense for the most part is not there, and obviously a lot of mistakes, a lot of drop balls and things, like, it's not conducive to winning. So unless, once again, he's probably going to be out this weekend, but if he's not, unless Trevor can have those Joe Burrow games and maybe then some more, because I feel like even if he has a Joe Burrow game, I think Minnesota can probably score some points as well. You need more than that. So that's just the way that it is until, you get a couple more pieces here on defense, a couple more pieces maybe on offense that's going to help him out and say, Trevor, you don't got to be, the best quarterback in the league to win games. Like, we'll help you out here.
Yeah. What I'm begging for is I looked up at that scoreboard yesterday, and I missed because I was on the show, and I was at Strings, and I look up and it's 7-0 Bengals, and I'm like, oh, what a novel idea. Like, getting a lead. And then they're up 21-7, and somehow the Bengals still blew it. But the bottom line is, I want to see this football team up 7-0, up 17-7, up 17, whatever that looks like, because that's. If that team, this team hasn't done that since week 1. And by the way, they blew it when they were up like that in week 1. So maybe they would blow it more because of this defense. They were up 2 touchdowns against Indianapolis, and they blew it. And they tied it up. So I'm not telling you that's an automatic win. I'm just telling you I'd like to have seen Trevor, this offense, more like that. And also, by the way, I think that lends to better defense with turnovers and maybe more sacks from the guys like Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. So, man, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It really is. And, hey, Doug's going to talk here in just a little bit. Maybe we figure out if Trevor's playing or not. We'll get to that in just a little bit. We will be back here from Best Bet Jacksonville in just a moment. Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. We got a full Friday all day long, including the high school football brackets come out at 6 o'clock tonight. We're going to do a 1-hour show at 8 o'clock tonight on the network to showcase all the different coaches and schools and teams that are in the playoffs. That gets announced later tonight. We do have a Friday night blitz later tonight on TV as well. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Best Bet Jacksonville, the place to be as the World Poker Tour continues all the way through November 19th. Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the Vault. The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game. But with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service. A meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Right now, save 10% off a new Rinnai tankless water heater. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, congratulations to the Nice High School Panthers. They got a big win over Bartram Trail last night and really one of the final games of the regular season as the week was extended a bit because of the storm, so teams could play last night, and Nice and Bartram did, and it was a shootout, and Nice scored 50-plus points, and they end up getting the win. They are the number one football team in the state of Florida, which is pretty impressive, and I don't think people saw that one coming into the year. I know we didn't. We didn't know they'd be that good, and we will talk more about them later today with Kevin Sullivan, but also later tonight when we do our bracket show at 8 o'clock on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. All right. So Doug was, well, now we're going to get transparent, Doug, I guess.
Yeah.
Or at least more transparent than we've seen him. Here's the bottom line. Doug just said two things of significance, in my opinion. One is trending toward not playing.
Yeah.
Which is way more information than he's given on, I feel like, almost any other player this year.
And it's the quarterback. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's nuts. So he did say, listen, he feels good today, this morning. They're gonna use the day because they've got another day of practice. Just want to make sure, but it certainly sounded like trending. So a little bit surprising, but again, the lean was correct. Starting with the C.J. Beathard stuff, that it looks like we're going to see Mac Jones on Sunday.
Yeah, there we go, man. I mean, I think we all kind of expected it.
Yeah. Just didn't expect Doug to say it.
We didn't expect Doug to really say it. And once again, it's just like the reverse gamesmanship, where is he really saying something, but he actually means a different thing to try to stick it to the Vikings? I mean, who knows? But, yeah, I mean, if I was going to make a bet, it looks like Mac Jones is going to be your guy.
Well, there's another thing here, though. Bring Jay Gruden back into the mix, because when asked about surgery, he did not downplay surgery. He basically was like, listen, I'm not a doctor. I don't get into the severity of it. But he also didn't just be like, no. Like that report was.
Yeah.
Now, the report yesterday was more, does surgery, like he's going to have surgery, right? And so people are like, well, no, he's not going to have surgery. Now, that doesn't mean, again, Rappaport actually reported this, doesn't mean he can't have surgery down the road or won't have surgery down the road. So there's a lot of questions and answers, but I thought that was pretty significant that Doug didn't just say, no, he's not having surgery.
I feel like if Doug's not ruling out surgery, then he's at least going to have it in the offseason. Yeah. Like, you're not just going to have something and not have surgery on it.
Yeah.
Depending on
a lot of players do.
Depending on the severity of it, but like if it's I mean, I don't know. It's so crazy because it's a non-throwing, it's non-throwing shoulder. So it's like I don't know like what that looks like. Like when I had to have my labrum repair, like I needed that shoulder a lot because obviously on the defensive line you use both your shoulders. So I'm not sure like if it's a labrum, if it's an AC, whatever the case may be, of what the recovery time would look like just for that, because he's not really active necessarily with that shoulder. Like, yeah, he uses it, but he's not throwing a football with it.
Well, when you hear all that, and let's hear it. Hamby's got it. And then I want you to think about this. When you hear what you hear from Doug, does your mind go, his season's over in terms of Trevor Lawrence? Like, where do you feel? Nobody knows, okay? But where do you feel about hearing some of this stuff? Here's Doug Peterson moments ago.
Jeez, break all the fun there. Okay. Yeah, obviously it's we got one more day today. He's been very limited, all week. It is trending, obviously in a way that's probably not playing or leaning towards not playing. But we'll see today where he's at. He felt good today, and Max ready to go if need be. It's sent. It's out.
How much confidence do you have in Mac to lead the offense?
I've got a lot of confidence. He's somebody that prepares extremely hard, extremely well. He's a smart kid. You go back to even some of the preseason stuff and what he did then as far as preparation and all of that and how he played. He's gonna be fine. He'll be excited. Obviously, home game, home crowd, home fans, his people, so to speak. But a lot of confidence in.
I know you kind of tailor stuff to the quarterback that's leading. How much would you have to change if it's Trevor compared to Mac?
It's with anybody, especially at the quarterback position. I don't want him to be Trevor, so we're not going to give him Trevor-type plays, but we're going to give him Mac-type plays, and we want Mac to run the offense. We've got enough variety that we can tailor it to him or CJ or Trevor or, whoever's playing, but and this is what I appreciate about all our quarterbacks and this week, if it is Mac, just his communication with us, right, and what he likes, doesn't like, and his comfort level.
You said on your radio show last night that you learned this last year with Trevor that if he doesn't practice during the week, maybe it's not the ideal setup. So is that part of this?
It's part of it, yes. Yeah, that's why I said it's trending the other way. So, it's hard. I think that's something I learned last year. And with the quarterback too, if you're not getting the reps during the week, it's just hard to go. And it's with any player, but I think at the quarterback position especially.
Is that it? Is that everything, Hamby?
Yeah, it
sounds like it. So
professionals. I'm not a doctor. It's hard to. I'm not going to speculate on that.
Has there talked in-house?
That was the surgery part.
Mm-hmm. Are there any plans for?
Not at this point. And again, the severity of it. I don't get into all the medical side of it, so I don't really know all of that. I don't have PhD after my name. But yeah, you're always optimistic, that any player can return, especially the quarterback. So we'll see as each week and each day goes by.
All right, so that's Doug Peterson just moments ago on Trevor Lawrence and his availability for this week and maybe even beyond. Just, again, some bullet points to repeat if you're just jumping in. We're just playing the audio there, obviously, from Doug. But the trending toward not playing, he's been very limited. Kind of used the same words Ian Rappaport used, very limited in practice. Seems like it might have come out of the Jags organization, that report. And the other part of this, to me, that was pretty headliney, is not ruled out. Yeah, he might not have a PhD, but not ruling out surgery. It wasn't like, hey, he doesn't need surgery. It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
So the one other thing back there, what he was saying, there was a pause after the first answer, and that was because he was like, there was no questions coming his way. And so he's like, okay, got to get it out. Because everybody was tweeting it out, what he was saying at the time. So there was a pause in the press conference. Yeah. That's what Doug was referring to there. But, hey, I'll ask you the question that I asked you right before that you heard it. Do you start to really think now like he might not play again this season?
I mean, I think if that was the case, you would already talk about surgery. I mean, I think he would already be in surgery. I don't know. I don't know if it's this serious, what you have to gain by, I guess, clinging on for the season. I mean, is the playoffs? Is it whatever the 3% chance, the 4% chance of going? Possibly. But then, are you doing your quarterback a disservice if he gets hit again? Or is it not maybe as serious as people are letting on to believe? So, do I think Trevor will play again? I mean, I have to think yes until further notice, Brent, because if he wasn't going to play, then they would say, okay, he's out, he's going to have surgery, and that's it.
And he didn't say at this point they weren't considering injured reserve. That was another thing from that. So if that's the case, then they still want to see where this thing goes. I think it's pretty clear, right? They want to get through the next couple of days, maybe even the next couple of weeks. And I said this, and this isn't from who you're playing or not, but I would suspect now, given the sound of this, that they would probably not play him this week or next week. Get the bye week as well. I think Mac Jones is going to get the next 2 weeks, and I don't know that. I want to be crystal clear. I just think now the way this lines up to me, with the bye week coming, why not give that as much rest as possible and then come out of the bye week and play your final 6 games and potentially and hopefully have Trevor Lawrence. Now, in between all that, you could decide, listen, we ain't doing this. Like, you're 2-9. Doug even kind of referenced that later in his press conference, or might have been in that, but where he said, it's a good question about the record, but we're not throwing in the towel. Like, he was asked about the record. So there's a lot going on here. Well, and I think there's a lot unknown here still. And I would say this, even in the building, and probably even Trevor's camp, I think there's a lot unknown. I think what it looks like to me, there are a lot of options potentially on the table of returning to play or all the way to missing the season and getting surgery.
But do you think, like, if the Jaguars lose these next 2 games, their playoff chances are done?
Oh, they're done.
Okay, so then I question, like, once again, if he can try to go against the Lions, then why not? Like, if you're still fighting for that playoff spot. You know?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to me, and I understand the percentages aren't in your favor, but guess what? The percentages were drastically in your favor last year of going to the playoffs. And you had like a 98%, 99% chance of going to the playoffs last year. And then Cincinnati came around, and it's like, nope, you're not going anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, crazier things have happened.
So let me ask you a couple other things on this. There's some spinoffs to this. One thing he said right there at the end, like, hey, a little based on last year, like where he didn't practice a bunch and we just couldn't get it rolling. Like, so if he's not going to practice, I don't know how much I buy that completely, Austin. I think this is more just health than it is he's not practiced. If he could go on Sunday, they're going to play him on Sunday, practice or not. I don't buy. Now, listen, last year it was like 4 weeks of it. That's maybe a little different. This is like a 1 week deal, and you could go on Sunday. I think practice gets minimized in that small window. For a bigger stretch, I understand it. But I also think that's just Doug kind of protecting the injury part there. Hey, this does give us at least a lane to say, well, yeah, he's not practicing much either. He says very limited practice, which means he's really not doing anything and taking reps. Well, we're not going to go with him. But I just don't think, my point is, I don't think it's the reason why. I think the reason why is his health. I don't think it's because he's not practicing a lot. That's why. If he all of a sudden wakes up Saturday night and they're like, hey, everything's good, I think he's going to play.
Of course. Like, I think he's experienced enough now to say, like, hey, if you don't practice for the week and then you go out and play, like, we're still going to trust you. He's to that point. Let me ask you this, and I want you to, think about all angles here. Does Doug and company have a better chance of keeping their job if Trevor Lawrence plays the rest of the season? Maybe a little banged up, or do they have a better chance of keeping their job if Mac Jones plays the rest of the season?
It's a fantastic question. But let me preface this answer by saying I don't think that's not why he's not playing. Like, I don't think this is a conspiracy theory to be like, why he's going to sit out. Hey, like Doug's saying, hey, go get surgery because you might protect our job.
Because then Trevor would say something. Like,
exactly,
that's not what I'm getting at. That's not what I was getting at.
Now the question is not only fantastic but fascinating, because I think I really don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't know. I don't think it really changes. That's my initial thought. Is I don't think it really changes, and I'm going to tell you why. Maybe it changes less for Trent as it does for Doug, but there's a reason they traded for Mac Jones for this moment. That's part of the plan.
Yep.
You said you went and got a former first-round pick as a backup quarterback because you probably sold in this plan. Listen, Trevor got hurt last year. We got to be ready. Quarterbacks all over the league are getting hurt. We got to be ready. And they're right. They do need to be ready. So we got ourselves what we think is one of the better backups in the National Football League. Okay? Well, then go win some football games. Now, you're not going to roll 7 off, probably. I get that. But what does it look like, right? Do we continue to hear in Jacksonville to not be able to get off the fast starts and not be able to get third down conversions? Like, are those continuous things? Well, to me, that doesn't change anything then. It certainly gives them a little bit of an excuse one way or another. I just don't know if it's enough if you still don't find wins. Keep in mind, they are going to play a stretch of the season in the final 5 games where they're playing nobody. They are really playing as it sits right now, unless somebody gets hot and it changes. Yep. But they are playing nobody. Like, even with Mac Jones, the way you built this, and if most of the rest of your team's healthy, you should be able to beat a lot of those teams.
Well, I know, man, and I get that, Brent, but and I know they're playing nobody, but it's not like the Jaguars are really somebody right now either. They have 2 wins this season.
Well, I get it, but that doesn't help their cause when they go in to meet the owner at the end of the year. That's their fault.
Well, no, I get that. I mean? But I'm not ready to say, okay, they're just going to rattle off win after win. I mean, until I see something different from this team, I think and I hate to say it because I think the Titans are the worst team in the NFL, but the Titans have had the Jaguars number for how many years? So this is going to be different this year? Because why?
I'm just answering your question from Shad's perspective.
Yeah,
I'm saying if I'm Shad, I'm saying my expectation is you still win 3 or 4 of those games with a backup quarterback.
So my answer is Trevor Lawrence gives them the best chance to win if he's still playing. Because I don't think that Mac Jones coming in is going to be excused if they don't win football games. I agree with you there. I think it's going to be, at the end of the season, it's going to be how many wins do you have and how many losses do you have. And I think Trevor Lawrence gives you the best chance to win. So to answer the question, I think Doug Peterson has a better chance of keeping his job if Trevor Lawrence plays, just because I think Trevor Lawrence gives you the best chance to win.
Because honestly, I think their path to getting or to really quieting the job stuff and really coming back from the owner perspective, okay, not the fan perspective, but the owner perspective. And keep in mind, fan perspective doesn't always win. We just saw Billy Napier get an extra year, all right? And nobody saw that coming on a Thursday in early November, given the situation. But from an owner perspective, my belief is if they got to 7 wins, they're going to be able to talk themselves into being listen, man, we're so close. And Shad will buy that. I think we're so close.
Really?
Well, I think that's their path to coming back.
Okay.
All right. I think that's their, what do you hang your hat on? Well, you hang your hat on, we got to 7 and we should have won. We know this. We all should have won. Yeah, we got to do a better job. We should have won. We should have done this. I think that's what you can go in with. If you end up with 4 or 5 wins, I don't think saying Trevor Lawrence wasn't, that doesn't take away why you were 2-7 to begin with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I agree with you at the end of the day that the wins it doesn't matter almost who's quarterbacking right now. They need to get more wins.
Correct.
They need to win football games. This can't just go, hey, look at next year. I don't believe that can happen here in Jacksonville. Hammy, let me bring you in here real quick. What do you think? Let's get your thoughts on does that, how do you view it? Again, this is a Shad question. This is not a fan question. The fans, I know how you think.
Sure.
This is a Shad. You have to put yourself in his position. Does this benefit, not benefit, that's a bad choice of words, but does this, or could this be used as an excuse of sorts for Doug and Trent with this season gone south already, and it just doesn't end up the way you want, and Trevor misses extended period of time, if not the rest of the season? How does Shad Khan compute all that in terms of, all right, it's time to move on and rip this up, or it's, you know what, we're going to give it another go?
Yeah, I think, well, the one thing that it does is that it can't get worse for Doug if Trevor is not playing, because any expectations, right, go out the window. And like we've said, we think that they have a favorable schedule down the stretch. Well, now, again, if you win 1 or 2 more games for the rest of the year, and it's Mac Jones, yeah, things are not worse. But I think Shad is really looking at the first. He's already made his judgment. In my opinion, right? Not whether to do anything.
I don't agree with you there.
No, not whether to do anything with Doug. I'm saying on this season, whether this season was a success or a failure, he doesn't need to see any more to know that this is a failure. We're a 2-7 football team right now, right? Regardless of what happens, right? If Trevor goes out there and wins 3 more games and we finish with 5 wins, or it's Mac and we finish with 2, Shad knows that this season was a failure, and that's what he'll make his decision based off of the first 9 weeks of this season.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good. And I can appreciate that. You might be right. This is already, and that is interesting. We just don't know. We don't know that.
But I think, if he's already made his decision, though, then I feel like a change would have been imminent.
Yeah, but you know how I feel about that.
I know.
I don't want to beat
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going back.
He just doesn't do that. He's going to let him out to dry. He's going to let You made your bed, you finish it.
Sure.
I'm paying you to finish it.
Teach him a lesson. There you go.
Well, it's not teaching a lesson. Again, I don't disagree with that. Like, you're not getting Ben Johnson tomorrow if you go fire your coach today.
But don't you think you can start like bringing on some other people? Like, hey, let's take a look at this guy. Let's take a look at this guy. Maybe, if it's a GM or something, let's take a look at another candidate there. Like, I think you can do some due diligence work in saying, hey, who should the next candidates be? Maybe let's get ahead of it a bit. I'm not saying tampering per se, but I'm saying getting a group of people together to say, like, okay, what do we need to ask them? What do we need to do? What does the package look like? And to kind of get ahead of everything. Because if I'm being honest, like, I think the Cowboys will be in line for a new coach.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys, there's a lot more to like right now going to Dallas than going to Jacksonville. Like, I think Jacksonville had the luxury of having Trevor Lawrence when he was really young. So it's like, okay, let's get this quarterback. You don't have that anymore. You have an older Trevor Lawrence now who, say what you want about him. So, like, what's the appeal to come to Jacksonville now? If you're a new head coach, if you're a GM, money.
Well, money doesn't hurt, but there's going to be
a new stadium, I guess.
Let's just say there's going to be a couple of things that, and maybe this is a conversation we have on the other side, but Dallas might be open. There's a chance Cincinnati's open if they don't do well, I guess, but I don't see that the way they're cooking on offense. Why would you upset that? Cleveland
Orleans already open.
I would think could be open. New Orleans already is open. The Jets is open. The Raiders could open.
Bears could be open.
The Bears could open. And so all those jobs, you don't want the Jets mess, right? New Orleans doesn't have a quarterback. So it depends where they're picking. Cleveland, no thank you. They might not be able to get anybody to Cleveland.
You'd probably take Chicago.
Raiders, why? Chicago,
Raiders,
Dallas.
Vegas,
with what?
I don't know, but I think the Raiders, like,
probably the pitch of, hey, come be our head coach and draft whoever you want in the first round as your quarterback.
Maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like you can kind of just tear it down in your own, like, the way you want to do it.
So you got Dallas, you got the Raiders, you got potentially Chicago,
the Bears,
and Jacksonville.
Giants.
The Giants. You're right. Giants a good job, you think?
There's some pieces, large market, but obviously the quarterbacks. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be there.
Yeah.
They re-signed Mike McDaniel, right? So he's committed or not?
Dolphins guy?
I'm saying the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty committed there. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I thought they offered him an extension.
All right, let's do this. Take a time out. We'll come back, talk about this part a little bit more, because that's another reason why does that lend to Shad keeping these guys, because there's going to be too much competition out there. And if you really just want like a Ben Johnson, you might not even get him. Could that be something in play in Jacksonville? The other thing I want to ask you about, just a little bit more about Mac Jones. As it trends toward Mac Jones playing, I think we might have some Mac Jones sound anyway. Then how's he going to do? Like, seriously, where's your confidence? I actually have some confidence in Mac Jones. I really do. I like Mac Jones. I'm not going to deny that. I've said that ever since. It's not just what he did in the preseason. I like him being here in Jacksonville. I think he can be a good backup. I think he's going to get another starting chance. But then what does that mean Sunday for this football team? What does it mean for Mac Jones? So a little Mac Jones conversation. And we'll visit with the Jacksonville Icemen coming up as well just a little bit as they get off the ice and get ready for a game tonight. Jacksonville Icemen home tonight, and tomorrow it's Jim Furyk bobblehead down night tonight. So go out and get a bobblehead, first 1,000 there to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. We'll do that. Looking at C.J. Beathard, looks like he could be the backup quarterback on Sunday for the Jags, and still am so surprised that Trevor's even out there. Win helmet and jersey if it was like this almost matter of fact that he isn't going to play on Sunday, but just shows he's trying to get ready and give it a go. We'll be back from Best Bet Jacksonville right after this.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jax 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jax and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, Action Sports Jax primetime coming up, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47 this weekend. We'll continue, obviously, to talk about the Jags and all things college football on Saturday. And then we've got a big day of Sunday when the Jags and the Vikings play on Fox 30 at 1 o'clock. Countdown to kickoff at 11:30. We have a post-game show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network immediately following. Those are usually entertaining, considering the way the season has gone. And then at night, we've got prime time again. We'll put a bow on the weekend. Brent Martineau Austen Lane back here at Best Bet Jacksonville, we're right on Monument Road here. Sometimes we hang out at St. Augustine. Up here, we like this spot because I don't even have to set up the lights. Like, this is the final table we're sitting at.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, the things that are happening right now, it's WPT time, which means World Poker Tour, and the Best Bet Scramble is happening through November 19th. So they're open 24 hours a day right now through the weekend. Then starting next Thursday night, they'll do it again through the next weekend, because next Friday, that $5,000 buy-in and $1 million guarantee is all weekend long and all the way through the 19th. So everything's kind of building toward that. But today's a fun day as well. They got the mystery bounty through this weekend, and that's when things really turn up a bit. So $1,700 buy-in, mystery bounty, $300,000 guaranteed, and that's underway at noon today, also noon tomorrow, noon on Sunday as well, with the final day. And that one will stream, the final one, on Best Bet Live, so you can check that out. A couple of the events over the next couple of weeks will stream right there with this beautiful little studio they've got right here at Best Bet.
A lot of TV. I didn't know so many TVs they have in here, actually, too.
Yeah, they got a ton.
I mean, if you're going to guesstimate.
That's a good call. Now I'm trying to do some quick math around us. There's like 4 on every wall. I mean, even in this little thing, right?
I'm going to go at least 120.
We're like in a little section. Like this.
I'm going to go at least 120 hanging up. Because like each section I feel like has like 10 at least.
Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12. It's about 12 are right around us. And how many sections are there?
Brent.
I think you're more.
That's crazy.
I think it's probably over 200 of them. Because this goes way back.
What is that electric bill looking like?
Pretty good.
These are all high definition, too. Thankfully, we have Cam Newton in front of us rocking his cool hat. You know, do you get the whole Cam Newton stuff?
Not
like,
really.
I mean, when I say the Cam Newton, I mean like just the style.
The look, no.
I mean, dude, I understand. Like, fashion's never been one of my fortes, really. And like, I get, man. Like, if you want to, mix it up a little bit, mix it up. But dude takes it to another levels. And like, I feel like people rock like crazy outfits because they want to stick out. Like, dude, you're already like 6'6", and you're built like a G.I. Joe. Like, how much more do you really need to stand out?
Yeah, I will say this about Cam: he's committed to it.
That's a nice way to put it.
Like, I think he sleeps in a hat.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's an everyday thing now. It's part of the ensemble.
It's just,
and the font on
it's
all
crazy because I knew his
captions.
brother too. And
he's still committed to that too.
Yeah, but Brent wasn't bold, so I mean, everyone's got their own little thing.
Yeah, we all got our thing.
It's crazy because knowing his brother Cecil was the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, the big news is we start the 11 o'clock hour here, hour number 2 of the Brent Austen Show. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence trending toward not playing, surgery not ruled out. Doug Peterson saying that. I mean, listen, this is wild to both Austin and I. We've been watching this Doug stuff. He's been my problem with Doug this year might be that he's just hasn't been transparent at all.
Yeah.
And it's been a game of chase, cat and mouse on the podium. And Doug kind of put it out there a little bit today. Basically said, it's not looking good. We'll see today. Mac Jones is ready to go if needed. Obviously, C.J. Beathard would be the backup quarterback. He also talked about tailoring the offense to Mac Jones. Like, you're not going to run the same Trevor plays, but we've got enough stuff in there that you can run the Mac plays, if you will. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Mac Jones in this football game? This is why you go get a guy that's got a little bit of a track record.
This is why you get him. I mean, am I super confident that if we're talking a couple weeks, can Mac Jones will this team to some wins? I don't know. I think you're definitely a lot more high on him than I am. You saw a good rookie year out of him. We thought he might have been the best guy out of his rookie class. Obviously, now it's Trevor. I don't know. I think it's just going to be okay because, and I'm trying to think back, like how many first-round picks were drafted where it didn't work out, where they go to a new team and like they find a new niche, they find a new home. And you could say Justin Fields, but keep in mind, Justin Fields essentially was benched. Well, I don't say he's benched, but he was asked to relieve the starting role in favor of Russell Wilson. Like how many? And I don't know, man. I have no idea. Like maybe I'm missing a bunch. I don't know.
No, it doesn't happen a lot. I don't think. I mean, listen, Minshew's been able to come in at times and do some things.
But he wasn't a first-round pick.
Oh yeah, you're saying first-round pick. I don't know. It's a unique situation, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I just feel like there's good football in him. I think he's in a better spot. I think he's more comfortable here. I think it's kind of cool for him. Let me say that, first of all. if he gets to start right here at home,
living the dream. White helmets at home. Let's go.
Yeah. It's a cool spot. I mean, quite frankly, for a local product, we like that. It's part of why we do local sports. I like that stuff, to see the local guys. And we've had a chance from Cooper Hodges to Mac Jones. Those are the guys on this team. But to have a chance to play, he played in the preseason. Obviously, that was cool. But to be able to do this, and you don't want to because of the Trevor situation, but if you isolate that part of it, Mac Jones has a really cool moment here in Jacksonville coming up. We just saw Carson Beck be able to play at home with Georgia. In this stadium. This is now in the NFL, of course. So it's a good moment for Mac Jones. I think he can do enough. There's so much going on that I think so much has to go right now for the Jags to figure this out.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to figure out, that it's really hard to project how Mac's going to do, but I think he's certainly capable. And I think he can distribute the ball, right? That's what you're asking him to do. Run the offense, distribute the ball. I don't think you're asking him to be a hero, but we're trying to avoid Trevor being a hero, quite frankly, too.
No, for sure. Looking at the chat, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff for 2 examples, but I feel like they had success. They had some success though.
Or before.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Stafford had
a
some
lot
numbers.
more success, especially Stafford.
But I think the one is Baker Mayfield is a good example.
Mayfield's probably
that's the example.
He's actually the guy that if you're Mac Jones, you're trying to be.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good thing to try to shoot for, yeah.
So it's an interesting situation with Mac. Now, it's also an interesting situation with Doug. And now Doug had Carson Wentz playing at a high level and the Philadelphia Eagles feeling good. This is a totally different situation. When he inserts Nick Foles, they're trying to keep the momentum going. But they got hot. They got actually even hotter somehow. Wentz was playing at an MVP level, and they got even better with Foles. He elevated the team. That's a Doug thing. Doug, I know you can't say anything nice about Doug right now in Jacksonville, but that's a Doug thing. And that's on his resume. And is that his offense? Is that Doug because he knows the backup role? Don't you have a little bit of confidence that Mac's going to play pretty good because of the Foles thing from years ago?
No, you get this sense that if anybody's going to be the QB whisperer and get the best out of Mac Jones, I think the guy that got the best years by far out of Nick Foles. Well, actually, I take that back, because when did Foles have his crazy? Was that still with Doug Peterson, or was that with? I can't remember how that.
Well, when he went 24-2, that was before with Chip Kelly.
Okay.
Or 27-2, I think it was. But I mean, obviously, he won the Super Bowl with Doug. I mean, he played.
No, for sure. But okay. But Chip still got some good stuff out of him as well.
He did.
No, I mean, I think you're going to trust Doug Peterson to get the best possible Mac Jones that you can get. Because I think a guy that's played backup quarterback so long in the league, he's been there. He knows what it's about, and hopefully that can correlate to Mac Jones, and we can see some glimpses of hope.
Let's hear from Mac Jones. We got caught up with him this week, knowing that this could be a possibility. Here's a young man out of the bowl school by way of Alabama, then the New England Patriots, and now looks like he'll get a really good chance to play on Sunday in his hometown against the Minnesota Vikings.
The mentality of this team, right?
Yeah, I think Coach Peterson talked about that in OTAs, and that's why we all get reps throughout the offseason. Being here, it's been nice. You get reps, and guys have had to step in and play, and it's not just one position, it's multiple, and I think everyone's done a good job. So I think it's next man up mentality for those guys, and they've all done a good job.
Sorry, Mike, jumping in late, but what's your mentality this week with obviously Trevor dinged up, not really sure of his status?
Yeah, same as every week. I was telling them it's NFL football, and as a backup quarterback, you got to be ready, and you plan out your week like a starter. So I've been fortunate to kind of adjust that each week and figure out what works for me to feel confident on Sunday. And whether you're taking the first snap, you're taking 10 snaps, 0, 50, 60, 70, it doesn't matter, but you have to have that mentality of, hey, I did all the work and I feel comfortable and I feel like I've gotten the reps visually or however I get them, and then from there you just go let it rip.
How much, if you get called, does the preseason stuff and the practice reps that you do get pay off with the system and being
for sure. Like I said, I was, you just came up, but I was talking about earlier, just in OTAs and preseason, the reps are divvied up really fairly, and you get a lot of experience. And I was fortunate, to have those mini camp days where I was the only quarterback and go through the offense. And, you look back on those reps in the preseason and how we were operating as an offense. And I pride myself in that, is how the quarterback leads the unit. And Trevor's done a great job of that. And I've learned from him. And I also, no, you're good. Josh is screaming over there, yelling paragraphs of information. Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot from Trevor, and like I said, we'll see how it goes.
How much respect do you guys have for? I know you do for your offensive line anyway.
Yeah.
But this time of year, when they're as banged up, I mean, look at Sheriff and what he's playing through. I mean, I know you guys all play hurt, but is it different with those guys a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's played hurt, but I definitely have respect for a guy like that who's played hundreds of games in the NFL. And, a lot of guys could maybe say, hey, I'm not really feeling it this week, and I'm going to sit down. But that dude just kept going, and multiple people are like that, defense and offense. And, you got guys stepping up, and we'll have to step up in the future. That's just the NFL. I think when you look back to last year, there's lots of injuries, and a lot of guys play. So I think teams realize, hey, depth is important. That's why you want to have a good first group, second group, and third group. And I know I've held, those guys to that standard in the third and second group so far.
Well, that's Mac Jones. And the last question, we're working on a story about the offensive line for a countdown to kickoff this week about that offensive line and what they're playing through, specifically Sheriff. So you'll get more of that on Sunday morning at 11:30 on CBS 47. But hey, listen, Mac's ready for this. I mean, he's not going to be surprised. But the thing about, you don't get time as a backup guy to really ease into it, right? I mean, you just got to get in there and go. We saw C.J. Beathard do that a couple of times last year in Trevor's absence from the Cincinnati, and did a nice job. Yeah. So I expect Mac, like I said, Mac to be able to handle it. I don't expect Mac to do Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson last night, right? But I do expect him to be able to play pretty good football in this game.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Trevor's done for the season? Or do you think he's going to be coming back?
I'll tell you what, Austin, if you watched my face while we were listening to that Doug stuff, I feel like that crossed my mind quite a bit. Okay. Like, I feel like that kind of got me like, oof. Like, I didn't expect coming off Sunday when we knew he was a little banged up for him not even to play this week.
Sure.
And then I was like, all right. I mean, yeah, guys don't play. They miss a game here or there. It's the NFL. Like, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. All right. He's out there. He's talking still. They're not ruling him out. They're not putting him in IR. They're not saying he's got to have surgery, all this stuff. Oh, he'll be fine. He'll come back next week, and you still can go. Because I believe, well, I'll get to this part in a second. But then listen to Doug, like, I'm like, oof, well, maybe not. And let me just finish what I was going to say there.
Okay.
I believe this season has importance to it still. Like, I believe that you're 2-7, you put this football team together, and I'm not talking about Doug and Trent. I'm talking about that young man, that quarterback. Like, I don't think you can continue to pile negativity on players and your franchise players, and you can continue to overcome that stuff. Like, I just don't. And now it's starting to add up. And some of it may be on him. Some of it's on the organization. Some of it was on Urban Meyer.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of blame to go around. But the bottom line is, you're talking 4 years of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you've had, like, basically, a 20-game stretch out of those 4 years where you can be like, hey, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it's supposed to be. The rest of it has been kind of gross.
So it was going to be a two-part question. So do you think Trevor's going to be done for the season, or do you think he's?
Well, that's too much speculation. But I say, I feel like now that there's there's way more possibility of that than I thought like 2 hours ago.
For sure, but also I think the fact that maybe they haven't had surgery yet, like maybe it leads to the fact that maybe he will come back. But the reason I asked the first question is from the second question. If Mac Jones goes out there and beats the Vikings, and then you come back the next week and maybe Trevor's still banged up, and maybe you put on a good show against the Lions, and maybe in a miracle you beat the Detroit Lions. So now you have the Vikings and Lions dubs underneath your belt and you're Mac Jones. Do you shut Trevor Lawrence down and just say, hey, Trevor, we're all good, like we're just going to roll with the hot hand? Or does Trevor get the right to come back and say, even though you're banged up, we're still going to ride with you?
Oof, that's a good question. I would say he still gets the right to come back. Yeah. I don't even think about it. If he's healthy.
Sure.
Now, what you do is, like, if you're not healthy, you start saying, hey, you need another week of rest. Right?
Yeah.
But, no, I genuinely think, I can answer that pretty succinctly, that if Mac goes out and wins 2 games.
Which, I mean, I don't know what the odds of that would be. That would be crazy. Then you better be getting a first-round pick from an NFL needy team next year. Right. From a quarterback needy team.
Maybe build a statue of Mac.
Yeah.
And Trevor, after the bye, is healthy. He starts against the Houston Texans.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, that's what I think. Do you think different?
I mean, if he's healthy, sure. If he's 100%, but I have a hard time believing he's going to be 100% ever this season again. So I think that's going to kind of be the scapegoat where it's like if Max somehow pulls off 2 miraculous wins and then you have the bye week, I wonder if they just go, Trevor, like, well, let's
I can see the logic in your question.
Well,
yeah.
I don't like the answer either. Like, I mean, I'm not saying
you think
I
they
agree
should go back to Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not saying I agree with it, but like, if you win those 2 games, you're still competing for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be hard to justify saying, hey, Trevor, go ahead and just bump this down then. I don't know.
Okay, I want to go back to something we were talking about because we kind of teased it at the end, and then we got into the match stuff quick. But let's just assume. Should we assume? We we just talked about all these different job openings that could be open.
Yes.
Does the amount of job openings change the way you might think Shad could look at this? Again, I'm getting blasted by putting out. I put this out a couple minutes ago.
There we go.
If Trevor misses a rest or most of the season,
that was in the chat.
Is an excuse. Which, by the way, that was an Austin question. I'm just the one sharing the question. Is that an excuse for Trent and Doug to come back?
Which I said absolutely not.
That's fine. And everybody else said, like, F no, hell no, Brent stop, all this stuff.
Sure.
But, which, by the way, I think it's a fair question.
Hey, that's why I brought it up.
The other thing is, in Shad, when you look at this from Shad, if you're going to have 7, 8, 9 openings, in the competition for who you might get, and becomes muddy and hard and everything else, do you sit back and be like, okay, this isn't worth doing it?
No, because I'm not settling. That's what we call settling. I'm not going to settle for, okay, well, we can't get we can't get the dude from Detroit. Okay, I guess I'll just settle for it. No, then go out there and try to find somebody else.
Okay, so then I'm going to go to if he should make the move at the end of the season, which I'm pretty convinced you're saying that he probably should as of now.
If you're asking me, should Shad Khan go find a new head coach?
Yeah.
Yes.
And GM.
Correct.
Should he do it when?
What do you mean?
When should he do it?
When should he what? Like let Doug Peterson go? I think if the Minnesota game gets ugly and the Detroit game gets ugly, you have the bye week. I think that could be an interesting time. So I would say, depending how it all goes, by the bye week.
And the bye week has been one in the past, especially given it's this late.
Sure.
That would make some sense.
Yep, because that still gives you how many weeks you have left in the season? 4?
At that time, you still
5?
got, no, you got more than that. You got 6. You got 6 games.
Okay, 6 games. Yeah.
So you got 6 games. You go with Mike McCoy for the final 6 games, whatever. You're beat up. You got 3 more guys out probably by then anyway, and you're 2-9.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
And then you start the process.
Correct.
And you get ahead of the process.
Correct, because these are really the games that you have to win. Like I'm not going to just say you're going to beat the Titans twice, you're going to beat the Colts. Like, I still think you have to earn those wins, but the last half of the season is drastically easier. But that doesn't get you the playoffs. That doesn't get you any kind of hope. What gives you hope is beating teams like the Vikings, was beating teams like the Green Bay Packers, was beating teams, like the Buffalo Bills back in the day. So I just think the end of the season doesn't matter. And I think if you want to keep your job, then it's got to be either the Vikings or the Lions.
Yeah, and so the thought about that, you just mentioned the word hope, which is interesting. The reason I asked the question is sooner or later, like season ticket stuff's going to come out, and maybe around that time frame, early December, whatever it is that a way to provide some hope? Because I think I said earlier this week on the show, is one of the reasons that they make the move here in Jacksonville, because Mark Lamping and company will be like, hey, what are we selling? What are we selling to the fans? Like, people are already pissed coming off last year, right?
Yeah.
Lost 5 out of 6 games. They weren't like, this wasn't like a booming season ticket year for the Jacksonville Jaguars based on last year's performance, and people are like, what the heck? And now they're like, wait and see again. You're back in that mode. Well, now you've got this. Guess what? Next year's going to be tough no matter what for the ticket office, for everybody else. And do you provide hope if you just say, okay, we know, we're making a change when like the renewals go out and other things, you start to plan toward next year.
When's the new stadium getting built? Is it next year?
Well, I mean, the construction will begin next year.
Yeah, so I'm saying like they're not going to be even in Jackson. Like, so
no. Right. The construction begins next year, but no, they're here all the time in Jacksonville. In 26, they're here just at a limited capacity. 27 is the only year that they're not going to be.
Okay, but I was just in terms of like season tickets. In terms of like, okay, so like next year is still vital. The following season, like, yeah, you want to get season tickets, but it's going to be limited capacity.
Limited, yeah.
So okay, got you. That's what I was asking.
So next year's your last year. And, you're going to spin this actually into something else that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Because I think it's an interesting. So the timing of this does maybe say, hey, season ticket renewals, let's get the fan base excited. We're going to change coaching staffs. Why wait until later? That could be one reason why they go earlier.
Yeah.
And I said this earlier this week. I still told Mark Long this actually when we were at Jags the other day. I said, does Mark Lampin go to Shad and be like, hey, what am I going to sell?
Yeah.
Like, even if Shad wants to bring these guys back, what am I going to sell? Like,
Sure.
what are we selling here in Jacksonville? And that's a fair question. Like, everybody wants these guys gone because why everybody wants everybody gone all the time when things go south. But the bottom line is fans want want a new look.
Yeah, for sure. And I get it. Like, people want people gone when things go south. Yeah, but people want people gone when expectations aren't reached.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get things are bad, but the reason people are so pissed off as opposed to other seasons because I don't want to say we were told, but we were under the assumption that things are going to be really good this year.
Yeah, we were kind of told.
Not. Okay, we were told.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure.
That's fair.
So that's what people are upset.
Okay, so one other element of this, all right, quick. And I don't want to get in the weeds on this, but it's probably for a little down the road whenever this stuff does happen. I think the next 3 years, what I just explained to you, 25, construction starts on the stadium. It's a normal season in Jacksonville from a football standpoint. 26, limited capacity. 27, no games in Jacksonville before you open that new stadium. Does that make it less attractive for a job candidate coming in? Does Ben Johnson want to walk into that whole mess?
No, probably not. What coach would? I wouldn't. But so are you justifying like, hey, why go after new coach then because no coach is going to come here?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't look at it as justification. I'm just talking around the whole thing.
Sure.
All right. And saying, again, I look at this from Shad's angle.
Sure.
Am I going to have a hard time finding somebody? Now, is that so in that respect, do you keep these guys and hope they figure it out and turn it around so they can take you through 26 and 27 as well?
I mean,
because really 26 and 27 are going to be a harder sell for a coach coming in than even 25, 26, and 27.
No, I understand. Like, listen, will you get candidate A that you want? Probably not. Will you get candidate B? Probably not. Will you got to settle for a candidate C or D? That's a possibility. But the fact remains that Shad Khan was told this team was going to go to the playoffs this year, and Shad Khan was told that this team was, one of the best. Because, do you think when Shad Khan spoke to the Jacksonville Jaguars team in the preseason, do you think he just said all those things based on his own merits of knowing football?
No,
or did someone tell him
told that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we know that.
So somebody told him that. So if that's the case, then, and all of a sudden you're having the season that you're having, and we can go game by game and pick out which games the Jaguars will win. I think it's going to be hard for them to get to 7, even 6 right now with what I'm seeing on the field. Now, maybe that changes or not. But if we're talking about a 6-win team and you're talking about meeting with Shad Khan after the season, if you're Shad Khan and once again, you're a successful businessman, how do you justify saying, well, I told everyone that we're going to maybe go to the playoffs, that this was the team to beat this year, and then we win 6 games? I kind of look like a fool right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep everyone around and do the same thing again?
Listen, if not for those statements, if not for these two reasons, one you just said, that he was told, let's just put this one on Balky. He's the guy that's engineering the roster. And he was told, this is the best team you've ever had, Mr. Khan. And he gets up and says that. Well, Trent's going to pay for that. Right? And
sure.
And then I put Doug on it. If Doug's the guy calling plays that you want calling plays, but he says, don't worry, Mr. Khan, we're good. I'll be overseeing this thing and President's going to call plays.
Hey.
And then your offense ends up like this. To me, those are the those two things right there. Again, I'm kind of trying to put myself in Shad's seat. Is probably the top of the list fireable offense.
Yeah.
Before even the record and everything else everybody wants to get into. Because we've seen it before with Malarkey and Smith. We have this example.
Yep.
But you told me this, and this is what we got. You told me this, don't worry about it, and this is what we got. Those are problems for Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke right now. I believe that. I believe those are the paramount problems more than the 2-7 record. It's how it looks and what they told, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they're hand in hand, right?
No,
it
does go hand in hand for sure. And and then that's another thing
but
too.
But the fact they told him that, if they never told him that and they were 2-7, I think they'd have a much better chance to keep their jobs.
Of course, they told him that, but also like you alluded to, I wanted it, you wanted it, and we're pretty sure that Shad Khan wanted Doug Peterson to call the plays. And Doug Peterson acted like he knew better than everybody else. Okay, well, where are we at right now? All right, so then if you're Shad Khan and you meet with Doug Peterson at the end of the season, what is Doug Peterson going to say? Okay, yeah, I guess I was wrong, but this up-and-coming year, I'll call the plays this time. No, this isn't how it works. You don't get this much of a grace period despite winning a Super Bowl, right? And once again, like, I like Doug Peterson. I don't like speaking bad about him all the time, but it's just based on what I see on the field. It's based on what this team is right now. And if I'm Shad Khan and I go, hey, you know what? I asked you to call the plays. You thought you knew better than I did. We're here right now. How do you justify bringing someone like that back again?
Yeah, I get it. But I just want to make it clear. I believe 2025, 2026, and 2027 are a little bit of a part of this conversation. From the Mark Lamping side to the Shad side to the football side, I think that's a tricky thing right now. They're in an interesting spot. They're going to be an interesting spot probably when it comes to free agents even, potentially when you get to 26 and 27. But what you do there is you say, hey, I want Ben Johnson, and you've got yourself a 6-year contract, not a 4-year contract. You've got yourself a 6-year deal or a 7. What you're going to have to do is really like the guy, because you're going to have to commit to that person for a long time in this stretch, I believe. I do think it's a bit of a factor here. I don't think it's a decision maker. I just think it makes things a little abnormal than just saying, okay, let's get a coach in for the next couple of years. We'll take a time out. Best Bet Jacksonville we are at right now as this place continues to get busier and busier. At noon, they start the mystery bounty here with a $300,000 guarantee. You can always check out everything at bestbet.com. Busy couple-week stretch here in November. Look at everything happening. $5,000 next Friday to get in the $1 million guarantee, but you could play a $580 satellite to win your way in starting tonight. And you can do that throughout the next week or so before the big stuff happens next Friday. And we'll be here next Friday at Best Bet Jacksonville once again. Take a time out. We visit with the Jacksonville Icemen when we come back. And, of course, more football talk here on a Friday.
Nobody but Nimnicht. Our family has purchased 6 vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Who gives you top dollar for your trade? Nobody but Nimnicht. Save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnichtBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnicht is there for you, even on Sundays. So, who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? The answer's simple. Nobody but Nimnicht. Your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's time for your Swoop Minute, and it was a playoff clinching week for the Ospreys of North Florida in both men's and women's soccer. Saturday night's 3-0 home win over Bellarmine for the men's team clinched their spot in the ASUN Championship Tournament, while the women's team clinched their spot in the ASUN Championship Tournament after a 2-0 win over Bellarmine Thursday night. The result for the women's team also increased their unbeaten streak to 8 straight matches. With a couple matches left in the regular season for both teams, the playoff tournaments will start in early November. In the pool, the UNF women's swimming team broke a school record in the 200-yard medley relay on Saturday. Katie Carlos, Victoria Torres, Kayla Daly, and Ashley Kephart posted a time of 1 minute, 44 seconds, and 4 milliseconds, beating the previous record by less than a second. And remember, you can find schedules, information, results, and more on UNFOspreys.com.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
New to town or always been in town? Everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza. Some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us. And at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations. Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, there's a look at Everbank Stadium. We got the white helmets. Everybody's looking forward to that. It's funny, every player that I've talked to this week or somebody's asked the question about the white helmets, like, what would you rather them be with? They got to go with the black jerseys because the alternate, and everybody's like, the white.
Yeah,
white, all white. They want all white.
Yeah,
clean.
same.
So
same, I agree with that.
But they're not getting it.
I can get it. No, unfortunately not.
Hey, let's, we're all over. We have so much stuff. In fact, Hamby just said, hey, we still got this to get to.
Sure.
Fridays, we don't usually have this much news on a Friday. We got all this Trevor Lawrence conversation, and there's a lot to get to on this Friday. We're live at Best Bet Jacksonville. There's a bunch going on in town, by the way. We're just talking about University of North Florida. Nice win last night, 90-66, 2-0. They sweep South Carolina, the state, that is, on Monday and Thursday to start the year. This weekend, we've got the Jacksonville Icemen back home, a long road trip, and now they're back home tonight and tomorrow. So well, he just dropped out. We're going to have one of the Iceman players call in just a minute, but now Hamby's saying that he's not on. I thought I can hear him. He is good. Okay. But we got the Iceman in town tonight and tomorrow. Hey, Austin, don't worry. We're going to figure this out. I know you get nervous about all these calls from the road, but we're going to
man. I do get nervous because I went on, like I said, a 10-minute TED Talk last week saying we're going to fix it and everything, and here we are again. So.
Well, you got Garrett now for the Jacksonville Icemen, and he's joined us. Look, he got the camera on. We got everything figured out. I think you can hear us. Garrett, what's up, man? Thanks for taking a few minutes, and good to be back home tonight for the hockey team, right?
Can't hear anything.
Yep.
Oh, Hamby, he can't hear you. He can't hear us. There we go. All right. We'll hopefully get Garrett in just a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Garrett.
Yeah, so, I mean, listen, Garrett has a unique situation going on here because this guy is actually a forward and I can hear Hamby. So he's a forward and a defenseman. So this is a guy that can play kind of both ways, and it's interesting because when you talk about the modern NHL, Brent, it's about two-way players, right? It's about forwards that can play defense, that can get back and be physical. Well, his story is kind of the opposite, where he played forward and then he was asked to play defense. And keep in mind, he comes from the powerhouse University of Michigan, where I believe he was on a team that had 7 first-round draft picks out of the Michigan Wolverines. Yeah, I mean, always a loaded team. Well, yeah, they're always solid, but like the teams that he was on, man, were very special.
So I don't know if we're going to get him on, but we'll see. And we'll talk a little bit more Iceman here in just a couple of moments so we can get Garrett Van Wy from the Jacksonville Iceman on. He's part of this newly constructed roster, of course, that we're still trying to get used to. And the Icemen play tonight at 7 o'clock. Jim Furyk bobblehead doll, 1,000 bobbleheads given out to the first 1,000 folks come in. And then tomorrow night, they've got some really cool events. Got the Marvel Jersey night next week. And then I think there's a toy drive coming up next week as well that they're going to be a part of, and even more at the end of the month where I think yesterday I said you can bring your dogs to the game. So Pucks and Paws, I believe they were calling it appropriate.
I like that.
So how was the early season NHL stuff going? I actually saw the Red Wings playing the other day. I flipped it on for like 5 minutes, and then that was it.
Oh, that's all good, man. We don't expect you to follow along. No, NHL season's going good so far in my fantasy hockey league, which no one really cares about, but since we have some time to fill, I'm doing very well right now, actually 3-1, looking at a 4-1 record, and this is all due to thanks Connor McDavid, who I had with the second pick overall. Connor McDavid, for those of you that don't know, would be like drafting Christian McCaffrey in your NFL draft and kind of having the same results because McDavid has been hurt, and he got off to a really slow start, didn't really score any goals or anything. He's out right now. Doesn't matter for me, though. My fantasy team is looking great. If you're wondering about the Red Wings, they're doing okay. They're kind of middle of the road. A lot of middle of the road teams right now. It's kind of hard to get a beat on like who the dominant NHL teams are in the league right now because even like the Panthers are they're looking good, but like there's no dominant team right now. So there's a lot of parity.
Yeah. Well, that's good to see. How about the NBA? You been watching any of that?
Of course.
What are you seeing?
No, so let's do a 10-minute NBA NHL breakdown.
Well, you got to do NBA slam poetry in a little bit. So what's got your attention?
So obviously the saga right now with, and I'll break it down later, with Ja Morant, LeBron James, and now Bronny James is trying to run his mouth as well. It's amazing how I keep pivoting back and forth on if I like Bronny James or not. Love the whole story of Bronny James going in with his dad. Got emotional a little bit. Got the chills. Okay, you're averaging a point a game. You go to the G League a little bit. And now you want to talk some smack on Twitter about Ja Morant. So that's interesting. We got that going on. The 76ers right now are in shambles. The whole Joel Embiid load management is insane. The Golden State Warriors are back to their true form. Rumors are they might be trading for somebody in the next month or so to really cement themselves as maybe an NBA contender because they're looking great. The Cleveland Cavaliers haven't lost a game yet. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are playing at an extremely high level right now. Boston's obviously good. What else do we got? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
That's good.
Okay.
You're good.
All right.
I just wanted to get an update. We will have slam poetry coming up in just a little bit. Let's get to some other things that we do have to get to today on the show, like how about our picks?
Let's get it, man.
The picks are in. The one thing, like Casey's slacking and hasn't given us a standings update.
Oh,
like he started doing that, and then he lost count, and he went away. Whatever.
I mean, probably because we're dominating, right?
Sure, we can make pretend.
Don't want to give the champs their props.
We do have to, we'll get that buttoned up and see where we're at because we got something on the line. We don't even know what it is yet between the shows.
Do we do that? What is on the line? We don't know
yet.
We
got to figure that out.
All right,
but it better be something good.
I can't wait.
I guess it will matter of if we're in the lead or not.
Shaving our heads, like Loser's got to shave his head or something, like something crazy, yeah.
All right, so let's get to it. Hamby, get in here too as well. I know you were trying. Sorry we couldn't make that work with Garrett Van Wy. We'll figure it out and we'll get to it. For some reason, this week when we're on the road, we can't. Our guests can't hear us. We thought it was one issue yesterday. We thought we figured it out, and guess what? It wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Jags trying to figure out third downs.
No.
They kind of figure out third downs, we think, nope, didn't get that one either.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have him back on.
Better.
Because I really want to pick his brain, because as someone who threw a fit when he was put on defense in Pee Wee hockey and essentially cried until I got put to forward and it panned out well for me, I want to get his thoughts of what is it like moving from forward going back to defenseman, because there's really no glory playing defense.
I know, but you get to hit people more, don't you?
You get to hit, you get to hit people, I guess, but Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some fun stuff coming up with the Iceman. Again, check it out tonight and tomorrow down there at the arena and part of a home month. And I do want to tell you this one more thing about the Iceman. We're going to actually have some of the games on our Action News Jax channels coming up. You'll be able to see a handful of hockey games this year on TV. So we're excited about that. More to come. The first one's coming up, I think, on December the 6th. All right, Hamby, let's go. Picks. What do you think? We got Georgia minus 2.5 at Ole Miss. They've had an interesting couple of weeks, right? Last week was interesting enough. Carson Beck is not playing the best football of all time. Prior to that, they had the emotional high of beating Texas. Where does this fall? Where's the mentality of this football team? I think they're better than Ole Miss, but Ole Miss is going to be rocking and ready to go.
Yeah, but the problem is Ole Miss hadn't looked all that good themselves, and they haven't lived up their own expectations of, and a 63-point outing against Arkansas doesn't really change that, right? So how much can you really give them credit for? I mean, I don't think Arkansas is too bad, but the problem is their best receiver is probably not going to play, but he didn't play last week when they scored 63, but I'm still going to take Georgia. I don't think Ole Miss can run the football. They're averaging like 3 yards on the dot against SEC teams, and they pretty much only run the quarterback. We'll shut that down, make them one-dimensional, and we'll shut. When you're one-dimensional against Georgia, how much success can you really have? So I'll take the dogs in the spread. I'll take them by a touchdown.
Of course you will. What do you got?
I'm going to go next, Brent. Thank you very much. You know me, man. I'm always on the Lane train, so go ahead and give me Ole Miss. Like, I get it. I guess crushing Arkansas doesn't really mean anything, but I think Ole Miss defense has slept on a little bit. And like you said, I haven't seen a lot from Carson Beck that leads me to believe you can go into a hostile. Well, we really call Ole Miss a hostile environment.
I think it will be for this one. It should be.
You're going to get out those hot toddies. Maybe Katy Perry will be in attendance. So, yeah, go ahead and give me Ole Miss. I mean, with the points. Why don't with the point? 3?
It's 2.5.
2.5? Yeah.
So you think, they got a good chance to win this game?
Yeah. Let's make it interesting. I'm not going to lie. I just want to see what you're going to pick, Brent.
I just think Georgia's better. I wanted to go. You know what? I almost went with you. Just be like, I don't know how tight I think we're tight in these standings. I almost took Ole Miss just so I could bet against Hamby and see how his reaction would be and everything else.
Sure.
But I don't see it from Ole Miss, man. I don't think they're going to win this game. I'll go Georgia. All right, Alabama 2.5 at LSU. I'll take LSU right off the rip.
Ooh, Hamby, what do you got? Or do you want me to go?
I might be a little delayed here.
Is Hamby going to talk? Oh, we're a little delayed. Great.
All right, cool.
We got Alabama, Ole Miss.
You want me to go? Yeah. I'm going.
How delayed are we, Hamby?
I'm going to take Alabama so I can make it an Austin pick. I know everybody is all of a sudden so high on LSU's quarterback, and I like him a lot, but I'm not ready to take him. Brian Kelly is who knows. I think, again, Alabama is so unbelievably inconsistent, but they can handle LSU, and this can be one of those games where they really show that they can be one of the best teams. And so I'll take Bama and make Austin pick this one.
What do you got?
I'm taking Alabama in a must-win game.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think this could be a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they going to if LSU wins, they got a really good chance, really good path, because that'll be a good win. That would be 3 losses for Alabama. I mean, they're probably done.
3 strikes
out. If everybody else gets 3 losses too, which still could happen in this whole thing with like the Texas A&Ms and the LSUs of the world. So could be interesting. We're going to leave Hamby out this one because I got a feeling we're on a big delay. We're going to take a break after the college picks. South Carolina 4 over Vandy. Interesting. 2 teams that have kind of been sneaky good at times this year.
Listen, I like the story. I like what they're doing, and I did 0 research for this. This is more just picking with my heart. I don't care. I'm going to do it for once in this show. I'm taking Vandy.
Yeah, good for you.
I dig it, man.
I
dig Vandy, especially at home. I don't know.
I like it too. And here's what I like about it is South Carolina coming off the high. They're not like a 2 in a row. They're not a sustained success kind of program, in my opinion.
Well, hey, Brent, Vandy has never been sustained in anything when it comes to football.
But that gives you, I think they'll get up for this one. They got their attention. Not going to sleep on this game.
Yep. No, get all the students out of the library, get them in that stadium, and let's go, man.
I'll take I'll take Vandy with you. So, all right, those are the college picks. This has been a disaster of a segment, quite frankly.
Oh, come on, Brent. I broke down hockey. I broke down NBA for you.
We got delays. I think we might have just lost something here.
We're not even live anymore?
The table. I don't even know if we're live anymore. And we couldn't get Garrett Van Wy on. So let's just take a break and try to figure it out. We'll be right back on the Brent and Austen Show. But, I mean, what just happened here?
Yeah, let's see if they're streaming still.
Now we're back.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the vault.
The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Got a full slate ahead for the Jaguars game. Brent Martineau conducting some business right now. Brent, I mean, I don't know what we want to tease here. You really put me on the spot. just do it. Just take
you
it
watch
over.
every show on the lineup. I know you do. I mean,
you know I do.
Today we've got the locker room. 1:30 we got Jags Report Live. 2 o'clock after the game with Randall and Bryant, West Nassau softball coach.
There we go.
He was fantastic. If you missed it, it runs on a replay. 3 o'clock we replay Stadium Pulse from Hamby's show this morning, if you missed any college football talk. 4 o'clock, Young and Norvell. That's until 6. 6 o'clock we do after the game again. 7 o'clock we do Jag Social with Olivia Tassley and Chandler Morgan. And then at 8 o'clock we're doing the Friday Night Zone Blitz is done, but we're doing a special 1-hour show on the bracket.
This is why I don't want to break it down. I knew that, and that's why I want to break it down, bro.
I know I do all that.
Well, I did, and I didn't want to say something, Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Hey, we were trying to get, so anyway, we had like 3 other guests potentially lined up today, so I was trying to, let's not do that again, because that doesn't seem to be working very well this week.
No one is allowed to come on the show ever again. No guests.
God.
Just Brent and Austen.
We can't figure it out.
Unfiltered.
I hate it. I hate that we can't figure it out, but we can't figure it out. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
We figure out a lot of stuff, but for whatever reason, we thought we had it. We didn't. Anyway,
listen, man, let me just say this. So, I mean, it's been a pleasure watching you trying to do a show and then also having to, talk to all the people and all the handlers of what's going on.
It's so hard.
You're literally having, 3 conversations at once. Oh, and by the way, we're trying to talk hockey and NBA at the same time.
There have been 2 times in the last couple of days where I'm just trying to do both and fix it, and I can't get any words out.
Yeah. Dude, I mean,
I couldn't get anywhere. I could not get my left side of the brain to function in 2 different paths. I couldn't do it. So, it's actually kind of funny to me because I remember yesterday the same thing. I just totally lost train of thought.
Yeah,
because I was trying to fix the problem with whoever we were trying to get on yesterday. I think it was Fitzy. But
listen, I'm not sure what the budget looks like with the Action Sports Jax, but possibly an assistant, Brent. I think you've reached the level now, Brent.
I do. I actually
reached the level now.
I actually really thought about that recently.
Yeah.
We could use somebody else here.
Intern is the key word.
Intern is the key.
College credit. The
problem is we don't do interns at our place.
Well, we don't do internships. Might be a good time for a change because think about all the stuff that can be taken off your plate.
I know.
You don't got to tweet anymore, right? You don't have to get roasted on Twitter anymore. Someone can do that for you.
Yeah. Well, they'd still do it under my name. I'd still get roasted.
I mean, maybe they can tailor it so you're not getting so roasted.
I mean, yeah, you want to be getting roasted a little bit.
Okay. No, listen, man. If I'm going to go on Twitter, I'm going to rile people up. But I'm not getting roasted because of it. I'm just going to, I'm going to try to.
What did I get roasted? What were you concerned about roasting?
Rock, paper, scissors, Brent.
What about it?
Brent, people are in their thoughts with it, man.
We'll get to that in a minute. All right, I do want to.
Good.
You knew about this event going on at the beach. Are you going to go to this?
Oh, yeah. So
the Supergirl Surf Pro. It started this morning. It goes through the whole weekend.
Yeah, but it's at night too or not?
No, this one I don't think is the one at night. This one starts at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So it's a nice little walk on the beach and go check it out.
No, it's great because me and my son, because we go for our usual bike ride on Thursday. So we went, and by the way, when I say we bike ride, we have lights on our tires, so it's safe. I know someone was probably like, "Well, it's so dark outside so early." So
thanks for checking the.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, social services out there, Brent, are always listening. So 7:30 at night, we're riding our bikes and everything. And we noticed oh yeah, that's right, the surf competition's going on this weekend, and they have a concert and everything. It's a cool time. We went there last year, really fun.
That's awesome.
So but I get it confused because there's a night surfing competition too. I think that's a Red Bull one, but this is the U.S. Air Force Supergirl one.
This
right?
is. Yes. U.S.
Exactly.
Air. You're right. The Red Bull one is the night one.
Yes.
U.S. Air Force Supergirl Surf Pro is this week. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It starts Saturday and Sunday. And by the way, I just talked to Nancy Seeley, who's helping put the event on. Yeah. She said, like, the competition, all over the world competition, surfers that were in the Olympics are here in Jacksonville, like, this weekend.
So looking at the setup, this thing, I mean, once again, I don't want to promote it, but this thing seems to be huge because there's so many things that are set up in terms of the watch pads or towers, whatever you want to call them, on the beach and everything. This should be a super big event. Like I said, we went there last year, so we'll definitely check it out on Saturday.
Well, also at the Seawalk Pavilion stage, superstar Joan Jett, the Blackhearts, also there, so part of the concert lineup.
I mean, did I have a crush as a youngster?
Yes, you did. All-female DJ competition, free fitness classes as well. So, leadership panel discussion. They got a bunch of events. So, it's a whole weekend of events.
Breakdancing, did you say, too? No.
They didn't. Speaking of breakdancing.
So, I know. See what I'm doing there?
That's good work. That's good segue.
I'm learning. I can't bring the show back in with any kind of shows or anything, but when it comes to segues, I got you.
That was good. That was impressive there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a really good surf event this weekend. But seriously,
ray gun
breakdancing.
Yeah,
our Australian has retired.
Our Australian friend of the show, can we call her? I feel like she's a friend of the show because we talk about her so much. So Ray Gunn, who, in case you didn't know, she was the famous one known for doing her thing at the Olympics and people having certain types of things to say about her. Unfortunately, due to the negative feedback, she's decided to walk away from breakdancing, which, I mean, and I get it, man. People want to make fun and everything, and it is fun. It's a meme, but it is kind of sad because she said she got into breakdancing because she felt free and she could have fun with it, and it just stopped being fun for her. So she's going to retire from breakdancing now.
Well, so have we ever seen anything like this? Do you remember somebody retiring
from getting bullied, essentially?
Well, that's serious.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah, or doesn't want to handle that spotlight of negativity. Which, by the way, I'm a little surprised it doesn't happen a little more often. And maybe it has, and I just don't really, nothing jumps to mind.
Happened.
And it would seem like it would be more on the periphery of sports. And the reason why it could be on the periphery is because you're not getting paid like you are an NFL guy, right? Or an MLB guy, most likely.
Who cares?
No, I get it.
Breakdance. I don't get why people were so heated about it.
Yeah, it became a thing. I mean, it became a Halloween costume.
Yeah, a very popular one. I can't really. Well, you know what? And she still plays, but I know she took some time off. Naomi Osaka. Had some. No, I don't know if that was necessarily more of just her personal life or what people are saying about her. But I know she had some mental health issues.
Was it Osaka? Was that the one I'm thinking? Biles?
Simone Biles.
Good point.
I think it was Naomi Osaka.
So again, there was a lot of internal stuff there. I don't think it was just the outside
from
noise,
Twitter or something.
Right? But I think it has to do with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people check off Twitter and social media because of that. But I don't know if a lot say, "Hey, I'm done."
Antonio Brown.
The break for those athletes, of course, then they end up coming back. So that's a good call. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not surprised by it. That's hard. It's a hard thing to deal with.
I know. It's I don't know. I think I'm kind of in the minority because she's got a lot of haters, and I'll never understand why. But just the girl's going to stop dancing now because you're all so mean to her. What are we talking about?
Well, just because you're not very good at it.
Brent, everyone wants to be a hate. You can't do what she was doing, right? I understand it wasn't the best performance, but I can't do 80% of things that she did, and I'm an athlete.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe she just
let her know, Hamby. Reagan, that was for you.
Get back in there.
You just keep doing your thing. I wish she would, man.
Hey, how about we
the
get
haters win?
Back into our picks?
Cool.
Casey's now probably what are we doing? Because I had to now go back and listen to 2 segments of picks.
We can just send the picks, can't we?
We could. Yeah, Casey, actually, he was listening, and he said, what the hell, if you would just send me them.
I mean, that makes a lot more sense.
Well, no kidding, it makes sense, but it's a lot more fun just poking fun at Casey.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean,
Brent Austen, it just doesn't make that much sense. Yeah, got it.
All right, let's go the NFL. Lions, 3.5 over the Texans. Interesting football game. Why do I feel like the Texans are going to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a safe bet, right? Just because
3.5 at home, too, is a lot. That's a lot in the NFL.
Yeah.
We're good teams. I know. We're talking good matchup.
Listen, until I see, and this is more of just, I'm hedging here. Until I see the Lions be stopped, because they are the juggernaut. They are the freight train from hell that no one can get a hold of. I'm taking the Detroit Lions.
Hamby, what do you think?
I mean, we've seemed like we've picked the Lions game every time, and they've played at Minnesota and at Green Bay in the last 3 weeks, and both those times I told you that I was going to take the other team, not because I didn't think the Lions were good, but just I didn't think they were going to be an unbelievable, never lose on the road to another good team type of team. But they've obviously continued to prove me wrong, so I can't go against what they've been doing.
Here we go.
So I'm going to take the Lions.
All right. There's another weird one. San Francisco, guys, 6.5 points over the Bucs on the road.
Who are you taking? Did you pick?
I already said I'm taking Houston, so you guys took the Lions.
Well, you said you have a feeling, but you're concise. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
But we took the Lions as a group.
Yeah, Lions as a group.
Yeah.
Lions as the collective.
Yeah. And
Lions as the electoral college.
Electoral college. What about 6.5?
Yeah.
6.5? I mean, McCaffrey's going to be back, it looks like.
I would hope so at 6.5. Yeah.
But the Bucs
Baker
aren't bad.
played well.
I mean, why?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Baker played well. I mean,
and it's at Tampa, right?
It's at Tampa.
So West Coast traveling to the East Coast?
What do they know?
Wait, hold up. This is actually a real thing, though. Who did San Francisco play last week? Like, has San Fran been on the East Coast?
They might have been a bye.
Oh, they're on a bye.
Did San Francisco come off a bye week?
Yeah.
I think they did.
Okay.
That might be part of the reason.
That's
but
part of it,
6.5 points on the road?
I know.
Since
What are they
losing
trying
those two
they're
receivers,
trying to suck us in.
the Buccaneers lost by 5 to the Falcons, and obviously 6 in overtime to the Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm taking San Fran.
I'm taking Tampa.
Hamby, what do you got?
I'm taking San Fran because I can't name a Tampa receiver right now. I think Sterling Shepard is, I don't know. Yeah.
He's there. Kate Otten.
I don't know,
receiver.
man.
Yeah, I mean, tight end. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the reverse psychology. I think Vegas trying to suck us into this one on Tampa. I'll take San Francisco with you.
There, welcome, Brent.
I don't know if I believe it.
Welcome
but I think
to
I'm
the
going
degenerate bet of the week.
Yes, and then the Jags are. What are the Jags? Did I see 7.5 points? Is that right? They're 7.5 points.
I have no idea.
The line moved from 4.5 to 7.5
at home
once the word of Trevor going out.
Yeah, they read the NFL.com report.
I mean, listen, like, because they always say that the home team gets 3 points, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how it works. 7.5, like that's at home over a quarter. Like that's kind of insane. Vikings. Vikings.
What do you got? What do you got?
Jefferson.
What do you got,
Vikings.
Last 2 weeks, we've taken the Jags spread because it's been big numbers, and we've won both weeks. So they lost by 3 and they lost by 5. They continue to lose tight games. I don't even necessarily think that would change if Mac Jones were to play all 4 quarters. So I'll take the Jags plus, but not to win.
So I got to decide it.
Oh, come on, Brent. It's Mac Jones. Return to the Mac white helmets?
White helmets.
White
Mac
helmets?
Jones. Hey, what will you guys give me if I predict right now that not only the Jags will cover, but they'll win the game and I get it right?
I'll give you a skull clap.
That's it?
That's all
I get? Like,
I'll give you a
bringing me
soul
something
clap.
on Monday morning?
I mean, Brad, if you want to go back to the bets that you were supposed to give us, when the Jaguars beat the Buffalo Bills, if I recall, you're supposed to give us something that never happened. So, come on, man.
How about, I was figuring like nothing but cakes.
How
we can go buy them.
If Trevor was playing, I was planning on taking them. But
how about me and Hamby have to do a Juicy Lucy competition? You know what Juicy Lucy's are?
Yeah, from Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, the burgers?
Yep, the burgers.
Before you volunteer
we each have to make up a Juicy Lucy. It's a burger, Hamby. Get your head back on sports.
Eating or making?
You're making. We're not going to eat anything. I'm not going to eat anything. How about we have like a competition to see who can make the better burger?
That's Whataburger's job. They're coming Wednesday.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah. Don't want to. I don't know. We'll think. Hey, Brent, we'll think of something, and then we won't.
That's if Minnesota win. I mean, Jags win. They got to win the out game outright.
I don't know. I mean, I like it. I like putting something on the line here.
Yeah. I think they're going to win. I actually think the Jags are going to win this game.
Okay. So you guys taking the Jags?
Yeah, we'll take the Jags.
Cool.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. I mean, I hope they, dude, listen, I hope they win. I'm cheering for them. It's just,
Hey, let's do the Everbank game plan if we can, because I don't know what the heck it is. The Everbank game plan for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We haven't been able to nail this. Or a couple weeks ago, I did nail it. You got to win time of possession or score 27 points and 2 turnovers. They got 27 points and 1 turnover, and they didn't win the game against the Packers.
Yep.
I think they've just got to do the things that they can't do right now. They've got to eliminate explosive plays, and they've got to get third down conversions. It's as simple as that. Those are the 2 things that they've done wrong overall. Now, you could say turnovers, they could get more and all this stuff. You got to run there's a lot of ways to go. But the bottom line is, until this team converts some third downs, the same story is going to repeat itself, Austin. They're not going to have time of possession. They're not going to get off to good starts. They're not going to put up enough points on the board because they're not going to dictate the play. Mm-hmm. So I do think that combined with on the defensive side, you've got to play with stuff in front of you in this game. Your explosives have been too bad, worse in the league, and this team's pretty damn good at them with Justin Jefferson.
The only thing I'm going to add to it, Brent, is that you have to come out hot as well, because the Vikings always come out hot, and they get off to a lead pretty quickly. And this isn't like the Eagles team where they have a head coach where he gets his feelings hurt if you stop one tush push, and then he changes the whole game around because he's trying to prove a point. This is actually a pretty well-coached team, I feel like, that likes to get off to a hot start. So if you're the Jaguars, you're going to have to match that, right? Because right now, I don't think the defense can really stop a lot. Now, maybe this is the anomaly game.
Been better in early part of the games.
But if that's the case, then scripted plays have to be a thing here, and you have to go right away and score. And when I say score, a touchdown.
Yeah. That is the Everbank game plan. Don't forget to check out Everbank. There will be some folks that won a contest that can go to this Minnesota game and be a part of the Shadows, which is a unique experience before the game and a different part of the stadium. So you can check that out, obviously, online with Everbank, and that is our Everbank game plan here on this Friday. We'll pay it off and see if we were right in any way or if the Jags were just dead wrong on Monday when we come back in on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. All right, Ryan Nielsen was peppered with rock, paper, scissor questions yesterday.
I haven't seen any of this yet. I can't wait.
Yeah, he was. Look at the fair going on. Did you want us to go to break, Hamby? Is that what you want us to do? Are we due for a break?
Actually, I'd prefer if we
could,
did.
But
let's rock with the...
okay, good. We won't. But, hey, I like that. Wait.
Fair talk.
I like...
You can play rock, paper, scissors
shot.
at the fair.
That's a good one.
Just not on the sideline.
Yes.
On that
fair. It looks good. The fair looks good. It never looks great, during the day. It looks nice at night. I like it at night.
Oh, yeah. Well,
right?
That's when the neon's starting to pop and everything. Of course, Brent.
Jags are actually out there. We got baseball over here. It's a cool little shot. Don't show us too much there, Hamby.
So you have to wonder if the smell of corn dogs and funnel cakes is really affecting their performance.
So are we doing this all together? Rocks, paper, scissors.
We're playing.
Yeah, I mean, okay. What do we got? Well, rocks, paper.
First of all,
scissors.
okay, take it off the table. Is
Why
it
are you
paper,
saying rocks?
Scissors,
no, it's
or
rocks, papers. It's rock, paper,
It's not
scissors.
plural, Brent.
Okay, because some people.
Brent, it's not plural.
Rock, paper. Oh.
It's rock, paper,
you're
scissors.
talking about the wrong thing. You're talking about the wrong damn thing anyway. He's asking if it's paper, rock, scissors.
Or rock, paper,
scissors.
I know, but I've heard you say rocks.
Because where I come from, it's up.
Hamby, get yourself off the screen. You're fired for the rest of the show.
Say it right.
Are you going to bench him?
Yeah, we're benching him.
So we're
on the rocks.
In Wisconsin, on the rocks. In Wisconsin, we used to do paper, rock, scissors, shoots.
Really? Why do you do that?
That's how we grew up, man.
What, do you want to do that? Wisconsin way?
No. I'm saying I've been ingrained now in Kentucky and Florida where I say, rock, paper, scissors, shoots. But I'm saying when I grew up as a kid, it was paper, rock, scissors, shoots. Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah.
Well, do we have Ryan Nielsen on the topic, Hamby?
Yes.
See if he says rock or rocks. Let's hear from him as he got peppered about this whole idea of what everybody just lost their mind over.
This is the Jaguars.
This is really the Jaguars. That's what I said. If this team was 6-3, this would be a fun thing.
Oh, of course. Be T-shirts.
Yeah. Nope. Now it's T-shirts in a different way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is winning and losing in the NFL creates this. This is not great on top of it. I said this yesterday, by the way. I feel bad I didn't see Josh after Wednesday. I haven't seen him since. But he was totally just trying to share a story.
No, he was
and then he kind of
lighthearted.
He made this whole And you knew it. I knew it right when he said it. I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be good. Like this is not going to be good." And
Nielsen's
here we
gotta
are.
be coming to him after this and being like, "Bro, are you serious?"
Oh yeah. And by the way, that's the thing. It wasn't. This is different than when Cisco said, like, "Hey, we quit." Right? That was a little bit more like intentional. And
of course,
he knew what he was saying, right? He knew, he knew what he was saying. This was not. This was Josh just having fun with the media a little bit. And, hey, I want to share. He did 3 different times yesterday. If you go back and listen to Josh Hines Allen or Wednesday, he was like, he told 3 different stories. Like, listen, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah. This is great.
He's not going to tell us any more stories.
No, he's done. You're about to get the Bill Belichick treatment now from Josh Allen. Good job, everybody.
Anyway, here's Ryan Nielsen on it.
The rotation. It's the rotation, and Eric was up, and the next guy up, Trayvon was in there, and then Josh was the next guy, and so that's just how we rotate. And we've been rotating like that all season long. So
that was supposed to be Trayvon anyway.
Yeah, yes, Trayvon.
But in theory, if Josh had won the rock paper scissors, he would have run out.
I don't believe Trayvon would have let him run on the field. I think Trayvon would have stopped him from running on the field, and no, that they're in their rotation. That's what they're doing. Eric's the next guy up, and then they go out on the field, and I'm happy Trayvon was on the field.
So does that bother you though that they're doing that on the sideline?
No, I think it was part of the game where, sometimes you get into the game where you're battling, and the guys are feeling good, and you want them to be. I felt on our defense, we started away, and then we gave up a touchdown, and we battled, and you felt the energy on the sideline and things like that. And, there's some things that, man, you want the guys up and upbeat. And when we ran out there and that next drive, you can feel the energy and the things like that. And so I think, our guys have been doing a good job of communicating and, hey, whatever the case that was. But when they went out there, they were ready to play. And you could see by the play in their stances and attacking. And Trayvon with the return, and there's some other things on that return that was phenomenal football play, Jarian and his 2 blocks and guys turning and running. And so the most important thing is when we're out there, we're ready to go with high energy, suddenness. Our effort is at an all-time high. That's the most important thing. And when you turn on that play and you watch what happened, we were right there.
So you think it's a bad look for them to be doing that on the sideline?
No, I think we're making way more out of it than what it really was.
So you're not leaving it up to them who plays?
No, we have a rotation, and we, as we have the entire year. I've seen some things where we've been called hockey subs and things like that. That's what we do. Is we have our rotation, the next guy up, and at that time, the next guy was up, and away we go. Same thing with Miles Cole. All those guys they're having a certain number of snaps we like them to get, and at the end of the day, they met those snaps. So the rotation is, and sometimes it changes.
So if Josh went out there, you would have pulled him off?
If it was Josh's turn to be up, then he would have been up.
But if it was not his turn and he went out on the field, would you pull him off?
Well, I don't think the other player who was supposed to be on the field would have let him go on the field. So.
We just set a record, by the way. We just set a record here in Jacksonville for the most questions ever asked about rocks, paper, scissors.
Oh, man.
Rock, paper, scissors. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, what do you want?
I don't know why I say rocks either now.
Must be like where you're from, man.
I say scissors.
Yeah.
I guess it's not one scissor.
True, scissors, plural, yeah. Rocks. I got you.
Seriously. The most questions in the history. Did we just set a Guinness Book of World Records?
Yeah. It's crazy that this is the dialogue.
What are we doing in Jacksonville? What are we doing?
To be fair, though, okay, let me just speak off personal experience. Because, yes, obviously every defensive line rotates. I've never heard it, though, where the players almost jurisdict themselves in terms of, okay, I'm going to go in now, or you're going to go in. Like, the way that I played, and this is, well, in Kansas City it was a little different, but on the other 3 teams, the Bears, the Lions were big. Like this, the Lions, it was almost like hockey style, like Nielsen has, and then you have the Jaguars with Mel Tuck. The way that it goes is that the defensive coordinator will say, hey, he's looking tired, and then he'll echo that to the defensive line coach, and then the line coach's job is to come up with the formula of, okay, you're going to rotate in, or you're out. but the defensive line. So Joe Cullen was always like, get in there or get out, and he said it very loudly. I have never heard of a situation where the players can govern themselves and the players decide who's going in.
But he said they don't.
So that was just a joke then with the pipe? Because
he just said, he was asked, I think it was Gary Smith who said that, I think it was.
Yeah.
But he asked him back again. He's like, well, I think
because
they were. That's what I think. That's why I think Josh was telling the story. It's like he wasn't going in. Trayvon was going in. But he was, now,
because the way that they made it sound like,
totally.
Well, I'm just saying, and the way that I interpreted it was that it didn't matter who went in because Eric Armstead was already in. So it's either going to be Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, and they had to decide themselves who's going to go in.
Yeah, that's what it sounded. I get it. I get it. He's just saying. That's
not how it was.
The only thing we got to go off is what he said. It's predetermined.
Okay.
But to me, that brings up an interesting situation. Now, this is what I wanted to ask you about, so I'm glad you brought that up. If it's predetermined who goes in, well, does that not take in the significance of the down or the moment in the game? Because there's been several times, like, would that change for you guys, given the situations you've been in? Like, hey, okay, it's time to go in. But I'll tell you this, I watch other games where TJ Watt's not in a game on like a second down play on a game-winning drive attempt.
Sure, because then it comes down to if you're tired or not.
Yeah.
And this is where I go back to, this is to start the third quarter. So guys, I think, should have been a little more fresh coming off of halftime. Like, the biggest example I played in was with, his name was Chris Kasarik. He's now the defensive line coach in San Francisco.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, one of the most well-regarded defensive line coaches in all of football. And when we would rotate, it didn't matter. Like, there was no set limit of, okay, you have to go in now. Say it was like a 10-play drive. Guys are getting tired. Okay, rotate them in. Maybe it's a 5-play drive. No, they're looking so fresh. Like, you stay on the sidelines. But you have to, it's the defensive line coach's job to establish when guys are going and when guys are going out. There's no predetermined spot because, once again, if you're in crunch time, if you're in the fourth quarter and the game's on the line, and maybe guys are a little winded, well, you might want to keep them out there if it's TJ Watt. You might want to keep them out there, if it's, Trey Hendrickson.
I would also think, though, that the idea of, if you're a star player, let's just take Josh Hines-Allen, $28 million a year guy. You could, TJ Watt, you could be like, listen, I'm going in here. Sure. This might be the rotation, but I'm in. I want in. And do you have the jurisdiction to do that?
If for instance, in Detroit, and Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
Had the jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Whatever say he saw something on the sidelines, maybe guys getting a little winded, or maybe he just, he wants to go back in there. He could run in himself and say, you're out. And no coach say anything about it because it's Ndamukong Suh. He's earned that right. Yeah, I think Josh Hines-Allen has earned that right. I think Trayvon Walker, he's well on his way to earning that right as well.
Listen, man, this comes with a little bias, I'll say. I'm a big fan of Josh, and I knew when this thing came, I was like, oh, man, he was just having fun with it. And so I knew the context of how he delivered it. And so for me, I actually look at this whole thing as those two guys having fun. Those two guys kind of keep it kid-like, fun-like. It's a game, whatever. Keep themselves loose. Mm-hmm. I don't think Ryan Nielsen saying, hey, you guys can go in, just play rock, paper, shoot, rock, paper, scissors, shoot to determine who goes in, right? So we can debunk that. That's not it.
Okay, yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess that's the nature of this. How serious do you need to look at this? Or is it just the fact that, again, they're 2-7, everything's bad in Jacksonville, and now we got this to play off as well?
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I don't... And once again, I guess I have to take Ryan Nielsen at his word here, but I got this sense, and maybe Josh Allen was just joking around, and this is a sense of humor, but I got this sense of he made it sound like whoever won that game was going in.
So you believe
which
it
I believe.
Literally?
Yeah. I do believe it literally, and I think maybe Nielsen's just trying to cover it up and say hey, it's we're not going to go that's what I think, or else why would you even bring it? I don't know. I feel like we've talked to Josh Allen a lot. You know him a lot better than I do, so you can speak on this better than I can. But I just feel like to get so intricate and so in-depth with the story and just to kind of joke around with it, I don't think so. I think there's more to it than that.
Okay, but I'll also give you, here's why I think this way, because I think Josh is very in tune in what he says. He knows. The other day in the locker room after the game, he was asked about, is the offense doing enough? And he was like, no comment. And he didn't mean it no comment, they aren't. He meant it I'm not going down that road. You're not going to put words in my mouth.
Sure.
Like you could tell. I was in the room with him and after the Philly game.
Okay.
And he was just pressed on it. And he was just, so Josh is careful. Josh knows that, your words can get misconstrued.
Especially after a loss.
Especially after a loss. But and this was midweek by this time.
Oh,
They did the rock, paper, scissors thing. But
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't think he would have put it out there if he thought it would do this. If that was the actual determination of what was going on, or they just don't see it as a big deal because they're bought into the fact that. And maybe he let his guard down in this, that he didn't realize that everybody else would think it was a big deal.
No, that's what I thought.
That hey, him and Trayvon, doesn't matter who's in the game in that situation. Eric's on the other side. We're both good. It's just, and kind of I could go with that. If you're going to play Eric on one side and it's either Josh or Trayvon, doesn't matter which guy is in.
And I bet Rick is saying not really, no, because I think that they're both great players. And like I said, a couple days ago when we talked about this, I would have preferred for both of them to be in there. Yeah. But once again,
but we also know that's not 100% of the time going to be the case.
It's the reps and everything. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Again, there's some nuance here, in my opinion, because yes, if we're talking big picture, should they be on the field more often? Yes. Should Eric Armstead be out here? No, we think he should be inside.
Yeah.
But we also know it's fact that they're not going to play 100% of the snaps.
Without a doubt.
So there are going to be times in this football game, even if you saw Armstead on the interior 50% of the time, he might still be on the edge 20-25% of the time, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So you're going to see this combination sometimes. So I think it does need a little context and nuance. I think we're getting this whole scenario mixed in with the whole big picture stuff that everybody's bothered by, which is Armstead playing the outside too much, and also all the rotational stuff that we do see. But you just indicated they do it in other teams, like Detroit used to do it as well.
Every team's going to rotate, but I just, once again, I'm not mad because they're having fun on the sidelines. Like me and Aaron Ross, regardless of how many points we were down, if one of us made a good play, we had a Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty rocker celebration from old school wrestling that we would do if one of us made a good play. And if someone saw that on the sidelines, if we're down by 20, some probably have something to say about it.
Yeah,
we were just like we're still trying to have fun. We're not going to go out there and be miserable. So, I'm not opposed to Josh Hines Allen and Trevon Walker having fun or, keeping it playful. Not at all. But what I think is a little bit of a caveat, maybe, where I kind of prick my ears up a little bit, is I got the impression that Josh was saying whoever won that game was going in the game.
Yeah.
And apparently maybe that wasn't the case according to Nielsen, but once again, if I'm taking this all in and you joke about it, I don't get why you joke about it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter really because everybody's taking it as literal regardless of what. Now, Josh might speak on it later on down the road, or we'll see. I'm sure he will. Sure he ain't going to hold court and tell stories like he did the other day, most likely. It put Nielsen in an uncomfortable spot. That's the first time I've really seen Nielsen in a pretty uncomfortable position. He was getting pressed pretty good about that, and I wouldn't say wrongfully.
No, you have to answer for
he's
that.
under a lot of fire anyway right now, right?
Yeah.
Things are not going well, and on top of this, and we've seen this before. I mean, you add this week with the rock, paper, scissors stuff, and you add this week with the Trevor injury. This is what happens when you're 2-7, man.
It's always something, isn't it, Brent?
It does. It just snowballs, and you're waiting for like I said yesterday, the break. Mm-hmm. And you said it already has. Well, then we're waiting for the flood.
Yeah.
The dam is already broken.
Yeah.
So a lot going on with this team. All right, let's take another timeout. We come back, paint the play. We'll show you a play that maybe was the most bothersome play in the football game for me on Sunday against the Eagles, and it wasn't the hurdle play by Saquon Barkley, but it was a different one. That's coming up next. When we come back, we're live at Best Bet Jacksonville here on a Friday. Hope you're having a fantastic week, heading into a weekend. Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help.
Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield. Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the Vault. The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
All right, it's time to check out Paint the Play, presented by That One Painter First Coast. We love doing this segment. Love watching Austin describe us through a play. And we're going to go back to this play on 3rd and 17, just before Saquon Barkley scores. What is it about 3rd and 17 in Jacksonville history? Oh, boy.
You know, Brent, like when it comes to paint your play, I wish we had a Brian Thomas Jr. 80-yard catch that we could break down instead, right? But sometimes you have to break down the bad with the bad, and this is an example of a play that, well, you got to break down with the bad. 3rd and 17, Brent, if you're going to take a guess, you thinking run or pass?
I mean, I think
in your own 20. On your opponent's 20.
Yeah, I'm thinking
it could be
a safe pass
situation.
play, like a screeny kind of play, but probably not something crazy to the end zone. Although you're out 10-0, which brings a little bit more aggressive play potentially into the fold.
Yeah. So this is my issue here with this 3rd and 17 play. If it was gonna be a pass, which it very well could be, it's probably gonna take long to develop. Right, because you're not going to pass. You're not going to go for like a 10-yard out route just to try to get closer to a field goal. Like, it's the NFL, man. If you're not kicking 60-yard field goals and making them like on like every other time, what are you doing in the NFL? So like they're already in field goal range, so we have to know down and distance here and where they are at the field. Like that's a big part of playing defense. So 3rd and 17, Jaguars. You're on. You're 20 right now. They're going in to score. Okay. If they're going to do a pass play, it takes some time to develop. So here you can get away with running some games if you want. You can run a stunt, something like that, because once again, it's going to take time to develop. Well, they rush straight up. All right, we have Eric Armstead, and I can't tell who's in the middle there with him.
It looks like
is it Hamilton?
Might be Abdullah.
Or Abdullah, maybe?
Yeah.
56. And then the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a NASCAR package right here. Then we have, because we have Eric Armstead and Abdullah in the middle, and then I assume we have Trayvon and Josh on the edges.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yes.
So the biggest problem right here.
Should we give it a clap? They're on the field at the same time?
They're on the field at the same time. And lo and behold, 3rd and 17 turns into a touchdown. What happens here is this. We see our pass rush reigns. And is this you or is this Marcel?
It's Marcel.
Okay, yeah. This is exactly what we need right now.
He's suspended, remember?
Okay, I got you. Sorry, Hamby. My bad, man. But what you can see here is, okay, so it ends up being a draw. It's not a pass like everyone thought it was going to be. So now this is where you have to retrace, right? And it's super hard. We call it retrace. So this was a big Joe Cullen thing. You treat it like pass. As soon as you feel like, hey, something's afoot, you got to retrace. So you have to go back to where you came from. You have to go back to where you work from. And this right here is an example of Eric Armstead and Yasir Abdullah, who... Are we sure it's Yasir Abdullah? I mean, I think it is.
It looks like 56. Yeah.
Can I ask why he was playing a 3 technique here? Not even joking around?
Well, it's your paint the play.
Okay, I guess I didn't even notice. I assumed it was Devon Hamilton because he wears 50-something too, doesn't he?
He wears 52.
Okay.
But that's not 52, Hammy.
No,
right?
it's 56. Okay, so then never mind. We're just going to go on a little audible here of this paint your play. For some reason, you have Yasir Abdullah, who's maybe 240 pounds, Brent?
Yeah, let's give him 245 just for fun.
Playing a 3 technique when you have Trayvon Walker, who we all goated. He's a little bigger, but whatever. Let's go ahead and put Yasir Abdullah at the 3 technique, and let's go ahead and have Eric Armstead on the other side, and you see the hole here. Not necessarily because they're in the wrong gap right now. We get it. You thought it was a pass. You're trying to work the outside of the man, trying to work outside. Well, for Yasir Abdullah as well, work outside of the guard, and for Eric Armstead, working outside of the guard as well, working half man. I get all that. But you don't see the guys retrace their steps, right? When you know it's a draw, you have to work back to where you came from, and unfortunately, neither guy does that. Everyone thinks, they're in deep coverage. It's Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in the league, and a 10-0 lead that probably should have been a 13-0 lead. It turns into a drastic, 16-0 lead because Nick Sirianni is an absolute head case when it comes to trying to prove a point.
Look at Armstead.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't even know that.
On the level,
my bad. I didn't even know that Abdul was in the game.
Yeah, until we really got it. But the bottom line is, who's this bad on for leaving this much a gap to the? I mean, it's a one-cut play. He never touched.
Yeah,
it's like this is as simple of a play. You would have thought this was 3rd and 1 from the 1-yard line.
Foye kind of got reached a little bit. Foye could try to come down, and as you see right here, Foye Lucan.
Yeah.
You see 51 working up nicely. I mean, maybe 5 linebackers in the play in the league can make this play and try to cut around 51 and try to at least divert Saquon to cut back inside. You have, once again, Abdullah and Eric Armstead didn't need to work back in the middle and try to just, create a little bit of a chaotic running lane for Saquon. But no, I mean, he was untouched. It was that easy. And as far as like Josh Allen and Trayvon are concerned, like they're defensive ends, like they're trying to rush the passer. Can you work back? Sure, but you're not going to catch Saquon Barkley. So to me, this falls more on number one, taking a look at who you have as your personnel on the inside, Abdullah. Number two, having to work back to where he came from, Armstead, Abdullah. Number three, Foye can maybe come over the top a little more and make 51's job a little harder. And number four, I got nothing, Brent. Sorry.
So basically what I get to here is that's Paint the Play presented by That One Painter First Coast. Sometimes you do tip your cap and say this is a nice play in the chess match of football, right?
Sure.
Is that this, or Brent, the Jags in a wrong call?
Listen,
I mean, on 3rd and 17, don't you have to guard against almost anything being this simple?
Listen, I'm never going to call a draw play on a 3rd and 17 that goes for a touchdown a good call.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I'm just checking.
That's not what Sirianni had in mind. All right? Like,
because it looks like they blocked it up pretty well. Like that,
sure.
It was so easy.
But the Jaguars made it so easy on them.
Yeah.
And once again, this was a thing where you had to. This was a pass rush package, obviously. You got a NASCAR package. You had a Yasir Abdullah playing 3 technique. So this is a NASCAR package. And usually, even when it's 3rd and long like this, and you have that NASCAR package, it helps to kind of bump a guy down still to that 3 technique. Like you had 2, you can call it 4-eye or even 5s because they were lined up so wide, whereas the middle of the field was wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were in a pass defense,
but here's the thing, yeah,
and expecting that,
and Hamby,
maybe even expecting a screen to be able to get on the outside of that.
Sure. And Hamby, we go back to the first shot one more time if we can. I know I'm putting a lot on your plate right now.
He can handle it.
Brent, okay. So this right here as well. As you see, they're both rushing on the outside. I'm talking about Yasir Abdullah and Eric Armstead right here. Usually when you see this type of rush, either Trayvon or someone's supposed to come inside.
Somebody
right?
play a game
because
yeah.
the middle's wide open, and this makes sense to run a game here because, well, it's 3rd and forever. Like I said, it takes a long time for the pass play to develop, or if it's a run and you want to run that twist, that game, that text, that exit, whatever you want to run it, you might get put right into Saquon Barkley's lap here, but they don't. They just rush straight up, but they're all wide. It's weird.
It's interesting. It's like, I feel like the reason why I asked you that question, is it a good call? I feel like the defense played at so many good plays. I feel like even the last, you could take a lot of games. There's some games they haven't, but there are a lot of good plays in the game. And then they gave up these explosive plays. And I just don't know if that's players just not doing their job or the play caller. And Ryan Nielsen, by the way, at times said, I got to call a better play. I got to call a better play. Well, when he says that in front of a microphone, I think he's protecting his players to a degree.
Of course.
But maybe it is he's got to call a better play. Like, is it just a better defense to call in this situation, right? Like you said, run a game. Don't leave the middle open. I feel like he was... because if you're thinking they're going to run screen, you're trying to read their mind, and you guess wrong, you get this.
Yeah.
Like if that's the case. Like again, there's so many different situations, but this goes back to what I said about the offensive side of things for the Jags in that game. You have to guard against throwing a first down interception when that pass play is going to Dearness Johnson, whether that's on press or Doug or Trevor. That has to be in the back of your mind. This can't happen.
No.
Like this. They can gain 15 yards. They can gain 13 yards. They can gain 8 yards. They can't gain 17 yards in the touchdown.
Ideally on this play, what you see from other NFL teams, maybe you give up 10 yards.
Yeah, maybe. Because there's a little soft spot in there.
And it'll be 4th and 7. Go and kick a field goal, and you play to see another day. Yeah, you don't give up a touchdown.
But it's happening so much. These explosive plays it's mind-boggling to me that they're happening at this rate, and they haven't been fixed. Again, one thing to execute on 3rd downs, the offense hasn't fixed. That's a little bit mind-boggling to me, too. But usually, when I follow this league, things get fixed throughout games or throughout seasons, unless you just don't have the personnel to do it.
Yeah.
And that's not it, it doesn't seem like, for the Jags.
To offer the solution here, Brent, what do you do if you're Ryan Nielsen here? Go ahead and call the same personnel, get Yasir Abdullah his reps, I guess, but let's go ahead and run a game instead. Right, let's go ahead and run a game because, number one, it's going to create the lanes. It's not going to be so wide open. It'll take away the middle of the field. but Barkley maybe's got to cut out a couple times, and now you can make the tackle. But who knows? Maybe Barkley does a backflip and scores a touchdown still. the guy's unworldly. So I don't even know why I'm trying to come up with advice on how to stop Saquon Barkley, because obviously the guy is just not stoppable.
All right, Paint the Play presented by That One Painter First Coast, 904-643-3025. Check them out, That One Painter First Coast, and they can take care of all your painting needs here in Northeast Florida. Once again, 904-643-3025. Let's take one last time out. We'll come back. We still have NBA Slam Poetry. I'm going to visit with Jesse from Best Bet Jacksonville. They got a lot of big stuff happening. It's you can feel it in the room here on Monument Road. And don't forget to check in this weekend with Donato's Pizza. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donatos.com. You can save 20% with the code Brent20. We'll be right back on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket, and while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the Vault. The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back to Best Bet Jacksonville, and we are usually in between here or Best Bet St. Augustine. There's so much going on. I mean, look what's happening. WPT Championship, $1 million guarantee. That's coming up next weekend. We'll be back here, by the way, next Friday. So come on out, participate in all the festivities, and then look what's going on at Best Bet St. Augustine. That works so well in the month of October. We're continuing it here on the Fridays and Saturdays, which means tonight and tomorrow. $300 cash giveaway every 15 minutes. Starts at 6 o'clock, goes till midnight tonight and tomorrow down at Best Bet St. Augustine. If you haven't been in the new location, you got to go check it out. It's a beautiful one. And then next week they'll do the same, 15th and 16th. All of that in the midst of everything else going on here. And right now, Jesse Hollander joins us. That's not your music that you hear, by the way. Like that music.
Yeah.
You hear some?
I do.
That's not for you.
That's not for me?
No, that's being queued up for Austin when he does some NBA slam poetry. I just wanted to make sure you didn't.
I don't have to do the NBA slam poetry.
You don't have to do slam poetry, and you don't have to do you don't have to dance or sway or anything to the music that you hear. But you got a busy day here on this Friday and a busy couple of weeks, don't you?
We are very busy. We're in the center of our WPT series. Started last weekend. We had over 1,000 entrants in our opening event, which is huge. I think that was a record for us.
That's awesome.
$400 buy-in. First place was over $70,000.
$70,000 winner, right?
Winner, yeah.
For a $400 buy-in.
Right. One
not a bad day.
Over
not a bad weekend.
No, it was a good weekend. He was pretty happy.
Yeah, I bet he was.
He was pretty happy. And then this weekend we have our mystery bounty. It's $1,700 buy-in. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow is all the day ones. And if you make it through, you come back on Sunday. And Sunday is when we get into the mystery bounty format. Anytime you knock a player out, you go up and pull an envelope. It could be $500 all the way up to $50,000.
Wow. So you knock several players out. You're getting several pulls.
Several pulls, yeah.
Wow.
Every time you knock a player out, you get another pull at the bounty.
Give me a sense of the atmosphere here on Sunday then when that's going on.
It's really fun because the players, there's a lot of camaraderie, but there's a lot of like anti-sweating, They're like, what's he going to pull? What's he going to pull? And he'll pull 500 and they'll cheer. Yeah, 500.
The 50's still on the box.
Right. And then if a guy pulls 10,000, they'll be like cheers and booze at the same time.
Yeah. It's what's that show? What's the show with the briefcases?
Let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal or something. No, is that what it is? It might be
Deal
Let's
or
Make
no
a Deal,
deal, guys.
It
Come
might
on.
be right. Deal or no deal. Deal or no deal. That's right.
With Howie.
Thanks, Howie Mandel. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's got a little bit of that in it.
Yeah, it's fun. And we live stream a feature and final table of that all day Sunday, and we have one of the cameras here pointed over to the drum. So we live stream every time somebody pulls an envelope.
Check it out on Best Bet Live, by the way. There's a lot of live streaming going on. You can get more information right here, by the way, at bestbetjax.com. But there's more. This all leads into $1 million guarantee coming up next weekend, right?
That's right. We have our mystery bounty this weekend. Now, next week, we have a whole slate of really cool events. We have regular hold'em. We have a ladies hold'em. We have a double board bomb pot half and half. We have a PLO 8 or better. And then that leads up. We have a Savage Average tournament on Sunday where there's no clock. A little something for everybody leading up to the main event next weekend, which is a $5,000 buy-in, $1 million guaranteed prize pool.
And one other thing about that is you can actually satellite win and in with a $580 entry, right, leading up to it, if I have that correct, instead of the $5,000 buy-in. So you can win your way in, and I think it's $580
That's correct.
to enter that satellite tournament.
$580 satellites. We have those every night. And not only can you get in for $580, if you're here at the right time during our high hand promotion, you can win a seat into the 580 satellite. So you can get in for nothing just by being here playing.
Just by playing.
And be entered into the 5K main.
I don't know how you guys keep track of all this stuff. There's a lot
going on. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
It's fun.
But there's a little bit of winning for everybody.
That's
it seems like definitely the chances go up with that. One other note, I've been following along on Twitter and Facebook. You guys are doing a really nice job putting tutorials out there, whether it's the table games down at St. Augustine or some of the events that you have here. Some good tutorials about if you're new to the game or don't understand exactly everything that's going on, kind of like me sometimes, right? You can look in there and see
on
how to
our
play.
website, bestbetjacks.com, you'll find out there is a link to every one of the table games, and it gives you a pretty in-depth tutorial about how to play. So you can watch that and come on in. You can always ask us questions. They're easy. Or anybody in a suit is happy to answer the questions. We'll teach you how to play real quick.
Well, this whole next couple weeks goes all the way to the 19th. We're going to be back here again next Friday as well. So we'll feel a little bit more of the intensity as that $1 million guarantee starts to build.
That's right.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Jesse Hollander.
We'll
always great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Bring in the poet.
Yeah, bring in the poet. One other note, by the way, and I want to make sure you know this. Today through Sunday, 24 hours, we're open here at Best Bet Jacksonville, and the same will be done next weekend, too. 24 hours, Best Bet Jacksonville. So that's how big of a couple of weeks it is here. Pretty cool.
Here comes Devin Williams to blow a game when it matters the most. Ninth inning, Mets. That's how the Brewers lost. Yeah, it happens, right, man?
You're closing it out. You're closing the show out here.
All right. Anything else you got to do? Was there athlete of the week or something, right?
We're good.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Ready to go, Brent?
I'm ready.
Our vibes in place?
I haven't done this for a long time. I wasn't here last week.
How you feeling? Oh, yeah, Brent. Welcome back, man. All right. NBA Slam Poetry. We're back. Yes, we actually talk about basketball on this stream. Welcome to the law firm of Mitchell & Garland. They are 9-0. Cleveland right now is NBA's top team.
What?
Who would have figured that, man? Undefeated. Okay, I want to go crazy for this one. I'm keeping
new coach, by the way, too.
New coach. I want to go crazy for this one. I'm going to keep it under wraps.
Listen, they paid for entertainment.
Oh, I'll keep it a little. Ja Real. He's too small. LeBron, go ahead and take him a Ja Neal. LeBron shows no signs of age, playing big boy ball, no flopping or time to sell. Well, it looks like Ja Morant had the last laugh. Sure, he got a T, but the King took a giant L.
Ooh, yeah. By the way, Ja Morant highlight reel the last couple.
Hamby, is this on your cell phone?
I feel like Hamby.
I love it.
Hamby's just like a 4-year-old right now on an audio.
Hamby is a Nick Sirianni trying to call a 2-point conversion. All right. Big man can't play in the post. They got to shoot threes and play with finesse. Edie said, hold my beer. Got off to a slow start, but ladies and gentlemen, may I present your Kia 2025 Rookie of the Year?
Really?
He's already playing that well, man.
I forgot about Zach Edey.
Yeah, Zach Edey, man. So he's in Memphis doing his thing right now.
That may be a hell of a steal in that pick.
The dude's going to be a walking, probably a double-double the entire season. He's good, man. Jazz are still out of tune. Worst team in the league, looking for win number 2. At least they have other things to cheer for, like an abundance of salt and that football team at BYU.
Yeah, very good.
So it's so the Jazz kind of stink, but it's all good.
What happened to the Jazz? They were trending.
I know. Yeah, it's bad, man.
Rudy Gobert got COVID, and they haven't been the same ever since.
that was the COVID curse. Why didn't I put that in the slam poetry? Matt have a special presenter in Brent Martineau for next week. That was good. The 76ers in shambles, and reporters are chasing clout. Much like any time we tried having a virtual interview on the show, Marcus Hayes effed around and found out. That was the interview at the
That was good.
we're all finding out, aren't we, Brent? All right, last one, then let's get out of here. Bronny taking shots at Ja, thinking he's Simba, trying to power up like Mario squashing a Goomba. You average 1 point a game. You aren't the son of Mufasa, dude. You aren't even Pumbaa. If you in the Lion King, you know what I'm talking about.
Pumbaa, not part of the kids.
You know what's funny about that is that my son references that at least 25 times a day when I hang out with him. Let him cook. Yeah. So this has been NBA Slam Poetry for the week, by the way.
That was good. That was a good one. I like that.
Brett, real quick before we go, I have a little parenting advice I need from you.
Oh, okay.
So my son wants to watch the Deadpool 3, which obviously I saw it opening night. Very violent. There is some language as well, but he wants to see it. Now, he's seen the first two, not in the theaters. He's seen the first two on TV where it's edited. Loves him, obviously. Almost went as Deadpool for Halloween. Some of his friends have seen it. Do I let him watch Deadpool 3 this weekend? Because I'm kind of on the verge of saying yes, but I want to get some parenting advice here.
How has he done with the other stuff that you've shown?
Oh, fantastic.
He's good?
Yeah, he's doing good.
Well, he's good with it, but also he doesn't repeat the stuff.
Doesn't repeat it in
pretty
school.
Good on that.
No, he's fantastic on that.
Letters from the principal, teacher.
Not getting letters from the school. Now getting a letter because he has to work on his math homework a little more. But hey, I am his father, so I understand how that works because,
like I said, I was on line one.
Hey, I was in algebra my senior. I was in algebra 1 my senior year. So yeah, I get that point.
Listen, if he's handled it in the past, I don't see why not.
All right.
I mean, put it on the big screen.
Social services, you listening? Brent Martineau, man of the community, saying it's okay.
Listen, we live in a day and age where I don't think that you can't get away from some of that stuff. I think the stuff that he won't be able to get and understand will fly over his head or under his feet.
There it is.
And then the other thing is you just can't repeat it.
Of course.
I don't want Roman coming in playing Pac-Man and then saying something to me like you just heard.
Hey, repeat it. Brent, we're watching College Game Day every single morning with Pat McAfee saying stuff. So what are you talking about?
That's right. Like, when you go to social services, like, can I not watch Game Day either?
Exactly.
All right. Exactly. Hey, that's going to do it. Fun week. Weird week. Weird week in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Weird week all around.
Weird week all around. Weird show.
Hey,
wild show.
We had fun.
We like it weird.
We had fun.
But thanks everybody here at Best Bet Jacksonville. Again, huge weekend if you're coming on out. So one of these days we're going to get Hamby live playing poker while we're doing the show.
I would like that a lot.
I want to do that.
I like that.
I might even pay for his buy-in.
Oh, wow, Brent, that's generous.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Generous.
Depends how big the buy-in. Depends how big the buy-in is.
$100.
Hey, good win for the UNF Ospreys last night. Jacksonville Icemen home tonight and tomorrow. We were at the bank on Sunday, of course, with the Jags. We got a special 1-hour show tonight with high school football bracket at 8 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Have a good weekend, everybody.